afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, Law Nerds. It's Monday. Can you believe we're already in October? I can't either. We're like midway through. It's October 13th. We were supposed to be looking at Donna Adelson's status hearing tomorrow. But you know what happened? Well, the court vacated tomorrow's hearing for Tuesday, set it for Monday, and away we go. So we are going to see Donna's sentencing today. The real question is, does she have anything to say? And if so, what? So we're going to roll the intro. We're going to go to live court. We're going to talk while they're waiting for the court to start. Court has not begun yet. So are you ready to go to court live?
All right.
It's time to go. Let's go to court.
Hey there. Legal analyst Emily D. Baker, and this is your go-to destination for live court coverage. I break down the law, the strategy, and the evidence in real time so you know what's happening. No law degree required. So join the law nerds in the chat. They're here for the facts, not and let's get to court.
I mean, as you can hear, court is just getting called to order, so we are in the best position to just get going. So, hear ye, all rise. Does Donna have anything to say for herself? Chat, do you think she'll decline? Do you think she'll have something to say? I guess we'll find out. So, let's get the volume up and let's go directly to court. Judge Stephen Everett presiding. Now remember, we've already seen victim impact statements. There might not be any more. We heard from Dan Markel's family. So I don't expect we're going to see any more impact statements. So really what's left is for the lawyers to argue, for them to go over the report that they received, and then to see if Donna's going to say anything. Let's see if we can get closed caption up on this feed. It's turned on. We'll see if it rolls. But I think she might. Maybe I'll put a poll up in the chat and see. So this afternoon, one of my lights wasn't working. So if you're like, Emily, you look different, I have a backup light on. So I figured it was time to stop fussing with it and that it would all be fine. I mean, it's all going to be fine. But we also know what's going to happen, right? So Donna's facing life, period, end of story, life, just life, nothing other than life, all life on count one. The judge said he was starting the computer. So as to the other counts, I mean, does it matter? I guess it does. But she's going to get sentenced to life. If she says anything, I expect it'll be, this is all a huge mistake. She's not going to apologize, I don't think, because she's still going to be fighting this at appeal. And I don't know how much she and her lawyers are talking about that and how much her lawyers are gassing her up on that. But this morning, her lawyers did send in emails from Dr. Ruth Rosenberg, Marian and Ted Shafman, Jessica Ussery, Richard Shagrin, Ron Ellis, Annie Cunningham and Ron Gutterson, and Erica Johnson. So those letters were submitted to the court. I don't think we will hear those read on the record. Those are for the court. So I'm going to, well, we're waiting for the court. So I'm going to zoom us beyond Donna's face facing.
Was going to be giving a statement of Resumes this afternoon.
That's correct, Judge.
I couldn't even hear what the court said. I couldn't hear what the court said at all.
A witness that was going to be giving a statement of Resumes this afternoon.
That's correct, Judge.
You have a witness.
Is there anyone that is going to be attending on behalf of the state as well?
Yes, Your Honor. The Markel family will be appearing by Zoom, but they're relying on their statements previously made.
So we have two statements, it sounds like. That doesn't include whether or not Donna might want to make a statement. She still can. So if that statement's going to be by Zoom, give me 1 second to try to gain up the volume here because, Lord, that was hard to hear, or at least I thought that was hard to hear. And I'm going to see if I can gain this volume up just a little bit, and then we'll zoom to court bringing in those statements, but it's going to be she should get life, and then she should get life. Let's see if that sounds a little better. I'm optimistic. Maybe I'm too optimistic. Sound. That's a little bit better. All right, let's zoom as we get those witnesses brought in and see how it goes. We have the most minimal amount of zoom room. So there's really not, okay, Harvey's face, there's not much we can do. They're trying to get Zoom going. We are now in real time, so hi, chat, how you doing? We're going to be here. For those of you asking what happens to the statements submitted to the court puts those on the record and reads those. But again, as to count one, the court doesn't have any discretion. The court's options on count one are simply that he can sentence her to life in prison. There's no other option. There's nothing else the court can sentence her to. So I'm going to take a minute while we're waiting for
The 647 number belongs to Mrs.
the Zoom to get up and running and
You
for
can
the
tell
Zoom
her to
witness.
rejoin.
So they're trying to figure out Zoom issues. And I'm going to start a poll to see if Donna will have anything to say. And beyond, I have nothing to say. I maintain my innocence. Will she make a statement? A statement I consider more than like a sentence and a half. For those of you in the chat going, where's Wendy? I'm not surprised Wendy's not there. Are you? I'm not surprised. Will Donna make a statement? I'm going to put yes, no, one sentence, maintaining innocence.
Everyone on the Zoom can keep themselves on mute until it is time for you to
I think I
speak.
spelled innocence correctly.
We're here this afternoon for final disposition and sentencing in case number
Hey, Judge
2023
Everett. Can you
CF
guys hear him okay?
3226, State versus Donna Adelson. Parties can make their appearances.
Georgia Kappelman for the state.
Joshua's on for the defense.
Jackie Colford on behalf of Mrs. Adelson.
Have the parties
Notice that Zellman said for the defense and Fulford said for Miss Adelson. Do you think they're all getting along?
receive their copies of the pre-sentence
interesting.
investigation report.
I've got some fizzy water. I didn't even get to ask
Yes,
y'all what
Judge.
you were drinking.
Are there any objections that either party wishes to make to the pre-sentence investigation report?
The court is asking the attorneys if they want to make objection to the pre-sentence report. They all have this. The pre-sentence report is going to say a whole lot of, hey,
No, sir.
there's not much else
Corrections that would need
we
to
can
be
do.
made, Judge.
What are the corrections?
Would you like me to stay in here at the link? Okay.
Yeah, state the
no.
corrections.
On page 1.
What are the
we have
corrections?
Date of arrest as November 20th, 2023. And she was actually arrested on November the 13th of 2023.
Okay. So date of arrest
Okay,
correction.
Ms. Kappelman, is there any
No,
challenge to those?
No, sir.
I will notate the copy then that will be filed with the clerk as November 13th of 2023.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We've updated the
On page
sentencing.
number 5, there are several.
Okay, let's hear what the
first
corrections are.
place,
Oh, my
near
other
the
light's
top,
back
it says
online.
Wage, salary, and this was supposed to be her current employment that she had, and it said $1,000. She did not have employment where she made $1,000. She was not receiving any salaried income, so that should be 0.
Ms. Kappelman, do you wish to be heard concerning those?
No, Your Honor.
Again, I
Okay.
will notate the wage salary as $0.00.
Thank you, Judge. The next, underneath there, it says the number of jobs in the past 2 years, 1. She has had no job. She's been retired.
She was retired.
2 years.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that she was retired.
Which part of page 5 are you referring to?
Well, that's on page 5, right underneath the wage.
So no jobs, no employment.
Correct, that should be 0.
Ms. Kappelman, do you wish to be heard?
No, sir.
Notate that there has not been any employment or 0.
They're just
ahead.
making
Thank you, Judge.
corrections.
Directly under there, it says
They're
month.
making corrections, and some of you were like, does date of arrest matter for time served? She's not going to get any time served except on the second count. So yes, for bookkeeping on counts 2 and 3, she will get an amount of custody time. Count 1, there's no option other than life. So as to count 1, it's not going to matter that much.
Unemployed in the past 2 years, 0, and she's been unemployed for 2 years.
I mean, she's not employed while she's in
So
custody.
you're asking for that to be 24 months.
Hold on.
Correct.
The closed captioning got cut off just a little bit there.
Go ahead.
There are 2 typographical errors in the remarks section. The second line from the top under remarks says history, comma, she. I believe that's supposed to say the defendant.
Okay.
Give me one moment, I'm finding it.
It can matter because otherwise they waive it if they don't make these corrections. So they're making their corrections for the record. They were going to do this tomorrow. I'm glad they're doing it today because tomorrow they were just going to go over the report and then set sentencing for
You said
another date.
history is the first word leading into the
History is
corrections.
right
So-
next to the word she. You see that's on the second line.
We're going
down. It
right
says
into,
remorse, and then the
sentencing
word
today,
right
which
under there, on my copy
surprised
says
me.
History, comma, she.
For those
Yes.
of you that don't have the
Should be
Lawnerd app,
the-
I sent out a notification on Friday when this happened.
Some of it.
No objection.
I don't know how much the
Go
judge
ahead.
will say to,
And then in the same
Donna.
paragraph, 4 lines down to the far right, it said who had fallen in. That should be ill, I-L-L.
No objection, Judge.
they're correcting fallen ill. Okay. My new light has thrown off my white balance a little bit, but I think it's fine. New lights, new opportunity.
Go ahead, Ms. Wolford.
Yes, sir.
Bronte in the chat said
Going
life
down
with no
into the
parole.
financial
Florida doesn't
status
have
where
parole.
It says estimated total
Life, period.
debts. In the second line, it says a second
my
mortgage was taken out to pay for
fizzy
their
water.
home. That should say legal expenses, not home.
That's an interesting note. A second mortgage was taken out to pay for their legal expenses. Was it for hers or was it for Charlie's? I have questions. So, second mortgage, fair. And the judge is making those updates.
Go ahead, Ms. Wolford.
Yes, sir. The same section where it states remarks, 3 lines down, it says husband's dental practice. That's incorrect. The dental practice was not providing income prior to her arrest. She was only receiving Social Security assistance.
So you're just asking husband's dental practice to be scratched through.
That's correct. The only income.
I'm going to put this at 1.25 till we're back in real
They listed
time
Social Security, but they listed both.
while they do these corrections because I paused to explain a little bit. So we're speeding up just a little. It's going to feel like we're in slow motion when we get back to real time.
Well, anything else?
On page 7, Your Honor, about halfway down the page, it has the remarks section. And if you go 1, 2, 3 lines from the bottom where it's listing grandchildren, on the right, it has a child's name, 14, and then it says a female, 7. That's actually a male.
No objection.
I mean, that's a fair correction. I imagine if you're Donna and you're like, these are the people recommending my sentence,
other
then they don't know who my
objections?
grandchildren's are. It's
The court has
concerning
reviewed the
with
PSI report.
so many corrections. So now we're getting to the court reviewing the PSI. Let's slow back down. That's the pre-sentencing investigation. It doesn't matter to count 1. Count 1 has 1 option.
And at this time, I will direct the clerk to file it as a part of the record.
So the corrections are being filed. The court made those
Councilman, do you
corrections
have
by
any
hand with
other
pen.
witnesses or evidence that you wish to present as a part of your presentation today?
I have some documentation regarding cost of prosecution, Judge. Would you like that at this time?
Yes.
The state has put together a summary page and a thumb drive. We are requesting $723,123.68 in restitution. Defense advised that they want to support.
I wanted to hear the amount of restitution. It sounds like they're asking for over $12,000. So I'm going to back that up. They're also putting in the cost of prosecution.
We are requesting $723,100.
I'm sorry, that was $700,000. 700. I'm sorry, $700,000. I'm real glad I backed up. Let's hear that restitution number again.
Put together a summary page and a thumb drive. We are requesting $723,123.68 in restitution. Defense advised that they want supporting documentation regarding this request, which is contained on this thumb drive there.
The defense wants supporting documentation for the $700,000 being requested in restitution. And Georgia Cappleman's like, low key, it's just on this thumb drive, Your Honor, here. That's a large restitution amount.
I'm just receiving it today. Have not had an opportunity to review it. I think at this time, the parties are in agreement to ask Your Honor to order cost of prosecution and reserve regarding the amount, and we'll see if we can reach an agreement regarding the amount.
Very well.
So that's one item that's in dispute for today. Another issue, Judge,
That makes
is the
sense.
score sheet. I've prepared 2 score sheets. May I approach you?
Restitution is also connected to cost of prosecution. So what Georgia Cappleman just said is, Your Honor, we want to order the cost of prosecution and restitution, like how much it costs the state of Florida to go after her, but reserve for the amount. They might have a restitution hearing down the road to prove the amount. So let's continue on.
You may.
First includes death points, bringing the lowest permissible prison sentence in months to 172.5. The second does not include the death points, bringing the lowest permissible prison sentence in months to 82.5. It was brought to my attention yesterday that the defense objects to the inclusion of the death points. The limited research that I've had an opportunity to do suggests that they should be included if the death was a direct result of the crime. I believe it was. The defense wants to argue otherwise, so whichever score sheet Your Honor chooses to go with, they're both provided therefore.
They're talking about the sentencing sheet, and in the sentencing sheet, she's calling it a score sheet. So she's talking about the score sheet and whether or not there should be points or numbers included, an amount included for whether or not there was a death that resulted. The defense is objecting to that. Of course, the prosecution said the crime is conspiracy to commit murder. A murder happened. So when you're looking at the sentencing sheet, the numbers that correlate to that get added. So they are talking about the sentencing sheet. You see this in federal cases with the graphs. So they're talking about their point sheet. That is the sentencing sheet as it goes to count 2 and 3. As to count 1, again, there's only one option.
For you, the state is requesting for me to argue what I want for sentence.
Is it Lincoln Park After Dark, Georgia? Because it feels like it is. It feels like it is. I'm here for it. So now we're getting into really the kind of nuts and bolts of a sentencing. Restitution, what the sentencing sheet says, how many points get added to the sentencing sheet. Continuing on.
Is requesting, are you ready for me to argue what I want for sentence? Okay.
Go ahead.
Obviously life on count 1, Judge.
Okay, so the prosecution is getting into their argument on sentencing. Blink and you miss it. We have heard their request for restitution. We've heard their score sheet, and she is now going to argue for sentencing. So this is just right into sentencing arguments.
Are you ready for me to argue what I want for sentence? Okay.
Go ahead.
Obviously life on count 1, Judge. We would ask for 30 years consecutive to count 1 on count 2 and 30 years concurrent to count 2, but also consecutive to count 1 on count 3. I do not have any additional testimony or other evidence to provide, Your Honor.
I've had this issue.
So that is the end of the prosecution's argument for sentencing. Again, I said blink if you missed it. Florida is efficient. The prosecution asked for life on count 1. That's the only sentence. It is a statutory sentence, period. Life on count 1, nothing else. She's asking for 30 years consecutive on count 2 and 3. So life plus 30 plus 30, so life plus 60. However, the 30 and 30 would run concurrent to each other, but consecutive to the life count. So life plus 60. Those are numbers that apply down the road in the case of an appeal or what have you. So life plus. Maggie in the chat asked, is Donna wearing street clothes? No, she's in jail blues. They're kind of purpley. No, she's in her custody scrubs. So that's what the prosecution is asking for. Life plus 60, which is what Charlie got. Charlie got life plus 60. So the court is well aware of this issue.
Of the death points being attached to the non-homicide offenses come up in other cases. Certainly the death points would attach if there were an offense that were being scored, but the first-degree murder is not being scored on the score sheet. What would be the basis, Ms. Kappelman?
That the death resulted from the conspiracy. It wasn't just a conspiracy without a death.
That was me. I was trying to pause and I accidentally muted. They are now talking about the death points on the score sheet. And depending on different jurisdictions, the way they score these things are different. But when you look at what the recommended sentencing is, they are looking at the score sheet and asking if they are adding points because a death resulted to counts 2 and 3, which are non-homicide counts, not just count 1.
Score sheet. What would be the basis, Ms. Kappelman?
That the death resulted from the conspiracy. It wasn't just a conspiracy without a death. It was a conspiracy that directly resulted in a death, hence the death points are appropriate.
What is the defense's argument concerning the score sheet?
So the court's asking the defense to argue with regard to the death points and whether or not the death points go to count 2 and 3, or whether they don't. Count 1 is not scored because count 1 has a statutory sentence that's fixed.
I'm doing my best, Your Honor. I've been under the weather for the last week or so. It's the same argument that
Mr. Zellman. Okay. Mr. Zellman's like, I'll do my best. I'm sick. Sniffle.
Was made on behalf of Mr. Dr. Adelson post-conviction. Your Honor granted the correction of the score sheet. Solicitation and conspiracy do not require an actual death. And I'll just rely on the same cases that were relied on by Dr. Adelson. State versus Johnson, 560.
Your Honor, same arguments Charlie made.
Southern
Same.
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 The crime, quote from that case, the crime of solicitation is completed when the actor, with intent to do so, has enticed or encouraged another to commit a crime. The crime need not be completed. And then in Becky v. State, 423, Southern 2nd, 417, second DCA, crime of conspiracy consists of 2 necessary elements: an agreement, 1, and 2, an intention to commit the offense. Once the intent is formed and the agreement is made, the conspiracy is complete. Just like Your Honor did in Charlie Adelson's case, by order.
The judge is gonna do the same thing they did in Charlie's case, I think.
That was not
Right.
imposed by the Attorney General's office. I believe that order is dated January 24th, 2025. Your Honor agreed with that position and ordered the state to prepare a corrected score sheet without death points.
Kappelman, my memory of this is in line with the defense position. Certainly, if the state wishes to take any appeal concerning the score sheet, that is your choice.
Understood, Judge.
Death points will not be added.
The court's not adding the death points to the sentencing score sheet. Charlie still got 30 years on counts 2 and 3. So is it going to matter a whole lot? No, but it is a legal argument. The defense is going to make all their legal arguments. The prosecution's not going to appeal whether or not they add the death points to the score sheets on counts 2 and 3. They're just not going to do that.
To the score sheet that is signed by the court. Is the defense ready to proceed with its presentation?
Yes, Judge.
You may proceed.
Thank you.
All right. The defense sentencing presentation begins now, and the defense is going to make their arguments. There's nothing they can do as to count 1. We'll see what they argue as to counts 2 and 3.
Would you like me here or at the podium?
You may remain at the table, or you can come to the lectern, whichever.
Okay, thank you, Judge. I guess we would start with the witnesses that we have. The one what's standing by on Zoom is Dr. Ben Graber, who would like to make a statement on behalf of Mrs. Adelson.
Dr. Graber, if you at this time can please turn on your microphone.
And we're going to a Zoom witness. Counts 2 and
Please
3
raise your right hand, sir.
for a non-mouse and those in the chats. Count 2 and 3 are the.
Dr. Graber, if you can raise your
Hey,
right hand.
give me one
Do you
sec. You're
swear?
home.
Do you
Counts 2
swear
and 3
or
are the
affirm the testimony you're
solicitation
going to
and
provide
conspiracy.
today will
Hey,
be
Trav,
true?
come back.
I believe you have a volume problem, Dr. Graber. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. I guess just so I can test that we do have proper audio, Dr. Graber, before you get started, Mr. Markell, if you can turn on your microphone and say 1, 2, 3 for me so I can test this audio. All right, he's not coming through either.
All right. Technical difficulties in court. Very
Time to
nice.
troubleshoot.
Your mic, Your Honor. Me, I was talking to Travis. So, I was just checking in with my teen. So, they're going to try to... The only reason you saw the cat is because the cat was chasing Travis. That is the most Zoom call thing ever. Guess what? We have a minimal amount of Zoom room.
This equipment.
So let's see if they can get through the tech issues.
That speaker. Switch the audio.
The court's now telling somebody how to use Zoom.
2, 3.
The court's trying so hard.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, there we go.
Judge in a Radio Shack, man, all in one. All right.
Yikes. That was miserable. Oh,
It is. Let me swear you in again, sir.
the judge was just making a Radio Shack joke. First of all, that's a deep cut, Your Honor. Some of us remember Radio Shack. Some of us probably don't. Second of all, right after the judge is like, I got it handled, does the feedback go absolutely wonky miserable?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony
All right.
you give today? will be
Witness
the truth?
sworn in.
I do.
I loved Radio
You can
Shack,
lower your
man.
head. If you're examining the witness, or is he reading a statement?
He's going to present a statement, Judge.
Dr. Graber, you may proceed at this time.
So if we lost what was happening, this is defense witness Dr. Graber giving a written statement to the court on behalf of Donna Adelson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak on behalf of Donna Adelson. If I can, let me just brief description of who I am, my background. I've been a friend of the Adelson family since 1979.
Family friend since
First 20 years I
1979,
knew
so
them, we were actively
48,
engaged in many activities.
46 years.
In the last 20 years, I haven't seen him that much until this trial became apparent to me. And my background is I'm a medical doctor practicing obstetrics and gynecology, 45 years here in Florida. I was also a state legislature from 1988 to 96, representing Coral Springs.
Sir, being a state legislator is not going to make Chet trust you more. But okay, thanks for your background. So you're a friend of Donna's and you're going to say, I've never seen Donna do anything like this. Okay.
And parts of Broward County. I was the county commissioner in Broward County and mayor of Broward County for 1 year in 2006. Also a professor at the University of Florida.
Oh, yes, I caught that they have not been closed for the last 20 years.
And the University of Miami Medical School in clinical OBGYN. And I'm here to speak today on behalf of Donna Adelson, the person I've known for a great deal of time.
I'm trying not to make snarky
Hi,
jokes.
Donna. Just want to say hi. I'm sorry I can't be there to hug you.
She was convicted of murder of her son-in-law and conspiracy to commit murder and solicitation of murder. And you're like using your Zoom call statement to the court to be like, hi, Donna, I'm sorry I can't be there to give you a hug. Stop it right now. Stop it.
And I'm sorry we didn't get to have that dinner after your trial was over. but I'm here to, on your behalf.
Oh, they were planning to have dinner after the trial was over? Really? You were planning on having dinner after the trial was over? Sure, sir. Sure. Anyone who has looked at this case objectively could see that that wasn't going to be happening. And the emotion went from 0 to 60. Just calling to say hello. I backed up. I'll just try to let him talk without
For a
yelling.
great deal of time.
Ugh.
Hi Donna, just want to say hi, I'm sorry I can't be there to hug you.
She's in custody, can't hug her
Sorry we
anyway.
didn't get to have that dinner after your trial was over, but I'm here to, on your behalf, to let you know that you have friends, and I believe in you. Let me say that, Tom, I never thought we'd be here at this situation when I first met you.
Right, because we don't want to believe the people that we know in our life would do something like this. Right.
Total shock to me and to our families. And it's a tragedy for me to have to be here to talk about this. I feel very bad for your family, for the Markel family, for the tragedy everyone's experiencing. To me, I've been following this for 2 years. It appears to be a dissolution of two families. My background is similar.
Sir, the amount of families that were impacted by this goes well beyond just Donna's family and the Markel families. This is not a tragedy. It is a tragedy, but it was a cold, calculated murder. So this isn't something that happened to Donna. This happened to the Markel family. This did not happen to Donna. The jury convicted her. This happened because of Donna. Okay.
Anyways, to both families, like Ruth Markel, I'm the son of Holocaust survivors. I actually was born in Germany at displaced persons camp, came to the United States at the age of 18 months. So like the boys, Lincoln and Benjamin, I don't have a lot of recollection from the first beginning of my time in the United States, but they don't have the recollection.
Sir, were you not horrified by the things that Donna said and did then? No?
Of their father, which is very sad to me. But they do have families, and I had family. And we have to learn a great deal from our tragedies how to come back into life. My distress is not just for Donna and the Adelsons, but for the Markels as well, and especially for 3 generations of each family, which I see in tragic downward swing. And yet,
The tragedy is that after this family murdered the boy's father, they've had no connection with their father's side of the family. If you want to talk about the things that are tragic, let's start talking about the things that are tragic.
I did meet Lincoln and Benjamin at the bar mitzvah last year. I got to meet those 2 boys, wonderful boys. Unfortunately, I never got to meet Dan Markel, but I have read many of his articles.
Because he was murdered.
For a really very talented man who makes some very good points about the law and about compassion in the law, which he felt could be improved. And I agree with that.
If you are going to use the victim's legal arguments to say that he was asking for compassion in the law and therefore Donna should be given compassion, I might vomit. Stop it. Stop it.
So part of what I'd like to say today is basically that I do believe that Donna is a victim of not just circumstance, but has been actively exploited by parties involved in this case. I believe she was exploited by her son.
Donna's a victim, he says, who has been exploited by the parties in this case, especially her son. Tell me you didn't listen to the calls without telling me you didn't listen to the calls. Okay. So you didn't watch the trial, right? Okay.
Knowing Donna, who was the youngest child in her family, knowing her mother, and how close she was with her mother.
Don't care about Donna's birth
understanding their
order.
love and need for family, it makes no sense to me that she would pursue an activity that will destroy two families like it has. However, having known her son and some of his...
Sir, you're an OB. You don't know Donna's pathology. Also, if you're going to throw Charlie under the bus, I don't think I'm going to object to that. So I'm curious to hear what he says. He's knowing Donna, she would never, but knowing Charlie. All right, let's see what he has to say about Charlie.
Issues. I believe Donna, in her own naive way, trying to be a loving mother, is subdued by guilt, by silence, by denial, and perhaps even active exploitation, and used for activities she had no part of. So I believe she's innocent on all three counts, even though she was found guilty on all three counts. Part of my understanding is also that the victims here are both families.
Oh, so Donna might not make a statement because this dude's going to just do it. Okay. I'm glad we spent so much time fixing his microphone. It's real interesting to hear the other perspective on this because we're getting Donna's perspective. Or at least to me, I can't say that. That's pure speculation. To me, it sounds like we are getting Donna's perspective. I'm so curious how many jail calls they've had. I'm really curious how much Donna's been chatting with this dude. So he believes Donna's innocent. He believes that she is a victim. Okay.
To watch the hate.
I interrupted his sentence.
For activities she had no part of. So I believe she's innocent on all three counts, even though she was found guilty on all three counts. Part of my understanding is also that the victims here are both families. And to watch the hate and the stress and the vengeance I see, it's a terrible thing to look at. As Holocaust.
He said both families are victims here. And he's starting to sound like Sarah Boone's pen pal, saying that watching the hate and the stress has been awful to watch. What the stress of Donna? Donna's stress? Okay.
Survivors, you think we would understand that better?
So this isn't going to help.
Damaging it is to families. I would have to say my background, I grew up in the Bronx, went to the public school system. I actually was at Queens College when Donna was there, but I didn't know her. She graduated a year after I did. My wife Sandy graduated from Queens College as well. In Coral Springs, we...
Queens College, you say? So it all does come back to Hamilton?
Met up after being there a while, new young families, professionals trying to build a life, having children, building a community, which we did. So to see this situation occur, to me, it is devastating in many aspects.
Tell me more how hard this has been for you, sir. We're riveted.
As a legislator, I can tell you that we see things in the law. Even though I'm a doctor and I was chairman of healthcare, I was a Democrat, majority leader. I sat on the Judiciary Committee for 2 years and understand the laws. Even wrote some of the sentencing guidelines.
Tell me more about you.
In passing them at that time. What I learned over the years is that I had the privilege of passing many laws because I was a leader. And
he's not an active legislator any longer.
So many of my laws exist in the books. I get calls from judges periodically asking me about the intent of the law when I wrote it, because they have a case and it's come down to what did you intend to happen from this law. And they would ask my opinion, and they would use that information. So I'd like to look a little bit about the intent of the judicial.
You could see why Donna wanted him to speak, though, right? You can see why this is someone who Donna would have wanted to speak on her behalf. You you can, like, I see where Donna's coming from on this one. Like, I get the Donna logic.
Guidelines for sentencing. I think the life without parole is a very harsh sentence. And that was...
Florida has life without parole for second-degree murder. Sir, have you looked at the laws in Florida? I mean, y'all also have dinosaurs, like, walking into people's backyards and stuff on the regular. But, like, sir...
Not the intent was to punish domestic cases with that, but to hit drug dealers and organized crime and dangers to the public. But I think it's been switched.
Life without parole goes to murder in the first degree, not just special circumstance. If you wanted it to go only to special circumstances cases, which a lot of jurisdictions do, where life without parole only goes to cases that have additional circumstances, you can just add those circumstances. But Your Honor, no, we thought this was going to just go to organized crime. I mean, if you look at this case, you've got Donna, Charlie, 2 gunmen in a middle. There's 5 of them. This isn't... Okay.
Over to be used in conspiracy theories against the average citizen, which is not the intent of the law, in my opinion. Second of all, I think that it's unfortunate that
this wasn't the intent.
this case has gone into so many new victims. And we've already, you have 4 victims who have been found guilty of murder. 2 have committed the murder, maybe 1. The other were conspiracy theories.
5. It's 5 now,
And I would
sir.
believe that I would suggest that that needs to be reviewed by the legislature. That's my opinion.
It's what now, sir?
That's my opinion!
I haven't seen... I mean, if Florida's going to revise their laws on life, period, I think they would start with second-degree cases. Go talk to Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone got life without parole on an unintended homicide. Unintentionally. Go take a look at that first. Let's not start with the sentencing laws on first-degree murder.
Now, in this case...
Dr. Graber, before you continue...
The court's like, before you continue, can you stop?
Is this being offered as character? Because he is not an expert on the law.
It's character, Judge.
The court's like, why is this man lecturing me on the intent of the law? Thank you, Your Honor. That's the most polite way the judge can cut in and be like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Continue. Is this being offered as character? Because he is not an expert on the law.
It's character, Judge.
Donna's fighting to hold on to her
Very
distressed
well.
face
You may
real quick.
continue, Doctor.
Yes, that's my opinion from my background. It's not, I'm not giving a professional opinion. I'm giving my personal opinion from experience. What I'm asking the court today is, to me, the court, the judicial system, the power of the judicial system is in the judge.
This is supposed to be character evidence for Donna, not legal advice, life advice. If you're going to start your impact statement to speak on behalf of the defendant and to the defendant's character, starting to attack the judge is not going to work well. So maybe.
And it is the judge who is the presenter or the safety net for the public.
Arbiter.
To show some compassion when the cold written law, with every box checked off, shows no compassion.
Sir, you didn't watch this trial. This judge has been patient. This judge has been kind. And this judge has tolerated a whole lot. I would say that that's compassion. Don't come up into this judge's court telling him what he needs to do. Also, he has no sentencing discretion on count 1 because the legislature passed the sentencing guidelines. So there's only one sentence because that's how the legislature passed it. This is wild.
Where does the compassion come from? It should come from the judge, or should come from the jury. And I think that
The jury had strong feelings.
That's something we have to consider.
The jury made their
So at
feelings
this point,
clear.
what I'm saying is that I believe Donna Adelson is a 5-star mother, did everything she could do for her kids, for her family, for her community.
She's a 5-star mother. Did you just call her a 5-star mother? First of all, parenting is not something you get rated on Yelp for. Second of all, ew.
She has no bad intentions. She's not a leader. She's a baby in her family. She's always been a follower. Yes, she makes noise and she complains, but that's not her behavior. This is not her profile.
She doesn't have bad intentions, yet she thought that dressing her children up, we all remember what she thought her grandchildren up in SS uniforms to get at their father would be appropriate. No bad intentions. No bad intentions. The gaslighting.
So I understand that nothing can be changed, but I want it on record that I believe she is innocent of these 3 counts, and we believe her. With that, I would have to say, sometimes bad things happen to good people, and I think this is one of those cases, and it's unfortunate.
Yes, for Dan Markel, bad things do happen to good people. Donna's not the person you should be talking about, though.
For the families, I would ask, beg them, think about the 2 boys. Dad is not here, but a piece of him is here, and those 2 boys. And their future, they're both teenagers now, their future depends a lot on what's going on here, and how they're going to be perceived in the future, and how they will interpret the future based on this. So I think it's time for some compassion, some understanding, some forgiving. Perhaps it's time to...
Forgiveness is for the Markel family, and compassion is for the Markel family and the boys. But as for Donna, it's time for sentencing.
Take a step back and let everyone heal from this process. With that, I say to you,
let everyone
Donna, Samuel and I love you, we support you and the family, and we hope for you the best. God bless you. And Your Honor, thank you for letting me speak.
Defense have an examination for the witness?
No, Judge.
Does the state have an examination for the witness?
No, sir.
Dr. Graber, you can remain on the Zoom.
It's very kind,
Defense can mute
Georgia.
yourself at this
Very
point.
kind.
Thank you.
Defense have any other witnesses to present or evidence?
Yes, Judge, we have Rick Shagrin, who's present, who would like to make a brief statement.
All right, we have a witness present in court to make a character statement on Donna's behalf. Rick Shanklin? Which I imagine is more of the same. Donna has no bad intentions.
Please raise your
Did Rick
hand, sir.
testify? I think Rick testified. Did Rick testify at trial? I can't remember. But
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give today will be the truth?
yeah, he did, right?
You can lower your
The
hand.
travel friend,
You
right?
may direct the witness or you may give a statement.
You can state your full name, please.
My name is Richard Gordon Shagrin.
And have you prepared a statement here today?
Yes, I have.
Ma'am, just let him talk. Richard Shagrin. Right. I had called him Chagrin earlier because of the way it was spelled. These statements were submitted to the court in advance. He testified at trial, the travel friend. Yeah. Mr. Shagrin.
Okay, you can give that to the court at this time.
This is on behalf of myself and my wife, Susan Brotman, an attorney at law. We have known Donna Adelson for over 35 years. She's been a dear friend and travel companion, and we are still in shock of her current circumstances. We know her to be a loving parent.
Current circumstances. It's like every time the Real Housewives say, oh, they went away. The changing of language, the murder conviction, that circumstance. For those of you asking, he did have a walker when he came in before. He did.
Wife and grandparent. We stand behind her claim of innocence. We feel the trial was held in the county where there's been a lot of bad and inaccurate negative publicity, therefore not allowing a fair trial. We contend if a change
Sir, I appreciate that you want to ride for your friend. This was a young jury who didn't know who the fuck Donna was. They didn't. He walked in with a walker this time too, chat. That didn't change. But I understand that this is what Donna is telling them and they want to believe their friend, but it just isn't.
of venue was granted, she would have been found not guilty.
That's not
We are
true.
hopeful she will be relocated to South Florida, where she can pursue all legal remedies available. Thank you very much for your consideration.
She can do that from prison, sir.
These are character statements or quibbling about the evidence and the rulings?
They're supposed to be character statements, Your Honor, but they're quibbling is what they are. They're quibbling. It's a strong choice to come in and say if she had gotten that change of venue motion, she would have gotten a fair trial to the judge's face. Oh, Judge Everett, how we loved thee.
All legal remedies available. Thank you very much for your consideration.
These are character statements or quibbling about the evidence and the rulings?
It's character, Judge. They're here to talk about their friendship and time. Thank you.
But they didn't, Jackie. She just clipped back at the judge. Listen to her. The audacity.
Respect my authority!
These have not been character statements. She just snapped back at the judge.
These are character statements or quibbling about the evidence and the rulings?
It's character, Judge. They're here to talk about their friendship and time. Thank you.
Any witness examination for Mr. Shagrin?
Captain.
No, Your Honor.
You may be seated. Any other witnesses?
We did provide to the court, if you received your copy, Judge, some very short letters that were written as character support on behalf of Mrs. Adelson, if I may go through those at this time.
Go ahead.
Thank you. First letter that was...
I retract my previous statement that they're not going to read them all into the letter. They're going to read them all into the letter. Ugh. Okay.
Submitted to the court was by Annie Cunningham and Ronald Gutterson, who testified at trial. They say, we are writing this letter to restate our knowledge and feelings regarding Donna Adelson. We have known Donna since 2009 and consider her to be our dearest friend. Donna is a kind, caring...
I'm going to put her at 1.25. The court already has these. They might just be reading them for the record. Even though they're a part of the record, they might be reading them because their client wants them read. So I'm putting her at 1.25 as she reads these.
Loving person. She was always concerned with the welfare of others. She is not the monster portrayed by the media. Donna is incapable of threatening or harming anyone.
The judge isn't sentencing her based on the media. Y'all need to stop it. You all need to stop scapegoating the media. It's not the media.
Donna is almost 76 years old and in frail health after almost 2 years of incarceration. We will always believe her to be innocent and ask the court to take these factors into consideration when deciding Donna's
Oh, there's a
sentence.
statement. That works. That's a statement.
Next, we submitted to the court was one of her longtime friends, Ruth Rosenberg, who wrote, I immigrated to the USA from Israel when I was 1 month shy of 12. I lived in Israel in a town of 5,000 inhabitants where my family knew almost everyone and came to New York City, Queens, with a population of close to 8 million residents. To say it was a culture shock is an understatement. I didn't speak any English and physically looked like an underdeveloped child in comparison to the American girls my age. I entered the 7th grade in September, not knowing any English.
Was Donna your
quote,
friend?
Stranger in school. For several months, I sat by myself at lunchtime in the cafeteria, staring at the next table, where Donna and a group of her friends were conversing, laughing, and having a nice time. One day, Donna walked over to my table and asked me if I would like to join them, and of course, I said yes, please. That kind gesture started a 6...
Ma'am, there are some questions I have about this story.
52-plus year friendship. She invited me to her house to meet her family, and over time, we became like sisters. I can recall several instances where Donna helped me obtain a job so I can help my parents financially.
That's
She introduced
kind.
me to a family in a bungalow colony in the Catskills who needed a mother's helper for their daughters in the summer of '66. The money I earned helped my parents pay for the closing costs on their house. The following
Donna being kind to people in her life doesn't negate Donna being unkind to others in her life.
summer, she got me a job as a counselor at Camp Allegra in the Berkshires.
Okay, working
When I
at
had
camp
to
is the
decide on a
best.
career path, I consulted with Harvey and Donna about applying to dental school as my college advisor had recommended. Later that year, I was chosen to be the maid of honor at their wedding. We remained close friends throughout the years, even though we lived more than 1,000 miles apart. Our families visited each other periodically, making sure that our children and grandchildren got to know each other. We attended life cycle events of our children, bat and bar mitzvahs, weddings, special birthdays, etc., and now our grandchildren's. Donna has always been a kind-hearted, generous, loving, and caring. She is one of my best friends, and I will forever remember and appreciate how she helped me with English while I helped her with math in Parsons Junior High School, and remained loyal through the
You're definitely a loyal friend, ma'am. We saw that in your testimony. It's interesting that you didn't decide to be there in person. Just saying.
62 plus years. The situation she is in today is unimaginable to me. That is not the person I know and love.
It's not. She's a
We
different
also
person
submitted
to others in
a
her
letter from
life.
Ron Ellis to the court. My name is Ron Ellis, and I have had the privilege of knowing Donna Adelson for more than 30 years. I am writing to you in hope of offering some perspective on the woman I have come to know so well over the course of our long friendship. Donna has been a steady and caring presence in my life. When my stepson passed away 11 years ago at the age of 34, Donna was there for me in ways I will never forget. She sat with me in my grief, listened when I needed to talk, and offered comfort when I felt overwhelmed. That kindness and empathy is the Donna I know. Someone who shows up for her friends and offers strength in their darkest moments. Over the years, I have seen Donna's compassion extend beyond just me. She has been a devoted mother, a loyal friend, and someone who consistently tried to bring warmth and generosity to those around her. I understand fully the gravity of the situation before the court.
Do you?
But I hope that when you consider Donna's sentence, you will also weigh the years of kindness, care, and humanity she has shown to others. I believe that Donna still has the ability to contribute positively, even under these circumstances, and that she is capable of reflection and growth. I respectfully ask that you take these qualities into account when you make your decision.
Is the reflection and growth with us?
Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully, Ron Ellis. And then a brief letter from Marian and Tim Shafman. She writes, "We have known Donna for over 50 years, and although we live far apart and have seen her often over the years, we wanted to share with you our impressions of the lovely person we have known. Donna has always been a loving, kind mother and
These are
wife,
character
and also
letters.
an exemplary daughter to her parents, who often stayed with their family. We have never heard her utter a negative word about anyone and had tremendous pride in every member of her family. She retained many friends from her childhood and developed long, satisfying friendships with the new people she met throughout each stage of her life. Donna was always intelligent, charismatic, and sensitive to everyone. She always listened to..."
Do you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that Donna had a whole lot of another life where she could have made different choices. And that she had a friend group around her that even if she was not getting on with her son-in-law, or she didn't love that her daughter was divorced, or whatever it was going on in Donna's brain, that she had a support group of friends around her and she could have navigated it. That's what I'm hearing. That other choices could have been made and that she had people around her. So I don't know if this helps. Instead of leaning on her daughter to continue getting divorced when it seemed that her daughter maybe was having second thoughts, she could have just gone out for dinner or gone on a vacation with whatever his name is and taken a breath and stepped back out of her daughter's life a little bit. Perhaps.
"anyone's problems and offered a helping hand when she could. Most notably, her genuine concern over our and others' health issues was truly appreciated. As you can see, it is very difficult for us to view her as anybody other than the sweet, caring person we knew. Sincerely, Marian and Ted Shafman." Next is a letter from Jessica Ussery. "Dear Judge Everett, my name is Jessica Ussery, and I am writing this letter to express my personal experiences and knowledge of Donna Adelson's character. Donna and I share a beloved grandson, Roman Harvey Adelson, born in 2017. My first memory of..."
This is Charlie's son's other grandmother. The other grandmother. For Charlie's kids, or Charlie's son, Roman.
Donna is a video made and shared on Mother's Day 2017.
Charlie Adelson surprised his mom with the news that he and my daughter Brianna were expecting a baby. It warmed my heart to watch Donna's genuine excitement and happiness caught on video. Our families began spending time together as events and celebrations took place. I recall Donna being warm and welcoming. As I got to know her more, there was no doubt in my mind that she was a loving and devoted wife, mother, and grandmother.
Did you ever do anything other than exactly what she wanted to do? I've just got questions. That's all.
Roman's birth was a scheduled cesarean section on December the 5th.
That's
On that
more
day, I
info
was
than needed.
overcome with mixed emotions of excitement and fear. A family awaited Roman's birth at the hospital during unnerving procedure. Donna was affectionate and compassionate, as I was visibly anxious and emotional. I will always remember how she reassured and calmed me that day. We shared tears of joy and hugs when a beautiful and healthy boy came into this world. Donna was caring and supportive of Bree as a new mom. I have many fond memories of time spent with the Adelsons. Although Charlie and Bree were no longer a couple beyond Roman's first year, we all remained close. Donna has been kind, thoughtful, loving, and generous. Thank you sincerely for taking the time to read the letter, Jessica Ussery.
Okay.
And then a short letter to whom it may concern. I've worked at Adelson Institute for Aesthetic and Implant Dentistry from October 3rd, 2011 to September of 2022. During my time of working there, I had the opportunity to experience the beautiful person that Donna Adelson is. Through my time of working often side by side with her, I've witnessed her grace and ability to diffuse upset patients. She is incredible with
Why was she paying someone that didn't work there, though?
having compassion for others and is truly one of the sweetest people I know. She's so supportive and understanding when it comes to her employees. When an elderly person comes in as a patient, she always made sure they had assistance, whether needing help filling out forms or even opening the reception door for them. She always jumped at the opportunity to be kind and helpful. I witnessed this and I know it was sincere. I still use what I've learned from her and apply it while I'm at work every day. I recognize the gravity of the situation and understand the seriousness of the legal process, but I respectfully ask that you consider the positive qualities that define her. Sincerely, Erica Johnson. And then the last letter that we submitted from was Attorney Gary Cohn. He said, my name is Gary Cohen. I've been a member in good standing at the Florida Bar since 1980. I have known Donna and Harvey Adelson as personal friends and personal counsel for almost 40 years. Harvey was also my dentist for most of those years.
How many lawyers does this family have? They have a cadre. They have a flying fleet of fucking lawyers.
I have been in the Adelson house, and they have been in mine numerous times over the years since their children were little ones. My wife and I have socialized with Harvey and Donna at dinners, blessed events such as bar and bat mitzvahs, and weddings, birthdays, and many other occasions. I've also traveled with them, including a wonderful trip to Africa with two of my sons several years ago. I therefore have had a unique opportunity to observe Donna under many circumstances. In all the time I have known her, I have literally never heard Donna raise her voice, lose her temper, act inappropriately, or treat anyone with less.
Are any of you surprised? Are any of you surprised that the way Donna behaves around others and the way Donna behaves amongst her own family is different? Is anyone shocked? Because the friends who are detailing their experience with Donna in public and the Donna we saw in the emails to her daughter are two totally different sides of Donna. Not different people, real consistent behavior, but public Donna and private Donna are not the same. And the way that she acts about with her daughter and with her sons are not the way she acts in front of her friends. This shocks me absolutely zero. In fact, it's all just incredibly consistent with saving face at all cost.
In full respect, and almost always with a smile on her face. I have never heard a bad word said about Donna from any other friend or person in my presence.
Have you ever talked to Rob?
She has been always been an amazing mother to her children, and she and Harvey have had the most loving marriage that can be imagined.
Yeah, appearances are
While
weird,
I
isn't
cannot
it?
comment on any of the facts of this case or any of the alleged events, I can say that the Donna I know is the last person I would ever think of
Well,
when it
that's an
comes to what has
appropriate
been
statement for
this
them.
utterly horrible crime dealing with the death of Dan Markell. Being a trial lawyer for 45 years, I fully believe in the jury system and understand that a jury has spoken. However, the woman I've known so well for so long also needs to be understood as the wonderful wife, mother, grandmother, and friend that she has been known to me. I only hope that this information can be of use to the court when it comes to the sentencing of Donna Adelson.
That's an appropriate statement.
At this time, I believe that Mrs. Adelson's husband, Harvey Adelson, would like to address the court.
Very well. Do you wish to enter these letters?
Harvey's making a statement? Miguelina, will you let our Law Nerd app audience that might not have tuned in yet know that Harvey Adelson's going to make a statement? Oh, I didn't even put up a poll because I didn't think there was a chance that Harvey was going to talk. Well, let's put this down to 1 point or normal speed and hear what Harvey has to say. Because I imagine it's going to be more of the same. That would be what I would think. Okay, Harvey. Let's hear what you have to say, because I don't think anyone made statements at Charlie's sentencing. Okay, Harvey, let's go.
Letters into evidence.
Yes, Judge.
Does the state have?
I was going to say it looked like Harvey was moving fast, but I had it at 1.25 speed. That's on me.
Very well. Do you wish to enter these letters into evidence?
Yes, Judge.
They already
State
submitted
have
those
any
letters.
objection? They will be composite defense 1 for sentencing.
Thank you, Judge.
Dr. Adelson, please raise your right hand, sir.
That was
Do you
kind of the
swear or
court.
affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
You can lower your hand. You may speak.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, Judge, and respected officers of the court for allowing me to speak. I have been Donna Adelson's husband for over 50 years. My wife sacrificed everything so that she could pour her heart and soul into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding.
My wife sacrificed everything for her children and her grandchildren. Isn't that kind of what the state said, though?
So that she
I
could
backed it
pour
up.
her heart and soul into our children, our grandchildren, and our marriage. This summer was our 54th wedding anniversary, and I had to spend it without her, hand in mind. She has done nothing wrong, and yet is being punished for a crime that she did not commit. I thought we lived in a different kind of world, but I guess I was wrong. I have listened, watched, and sat in the courtroom
Oh, he's
for the entire trial. And
I didn't have Harvey pissed on my bingo card. Harvey's fucking pissed. Just pissed. She might not make a statement because everyone's saying what she's thinking for her. Harvey's big mad.
I could not help but scream in my mind by the witnesses that were brought forward by the prosecution who told outright lies. I didn't know that you could lie in a courtroom, but apparently you can. Danny's parents contend that they have never seen their grandchild. But for years they say they've never seen her. But Wendy has shared with me pictures and videos and letters from their visits.
Oh boy.
They have suffered immensely at the loss of their son, but they also contend to tell lies to the court about our grandchildren.
Oh my God. Harvey. Wow.
Donna has always been a loving and caring wife and is innocent of the charges. A biased judge and jury
You did not. 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 Oh my God, Harvey, you did not. Also, if you're going to stand in that courtroom and yell at the judge that he's biased, look up from your fucking paper and look that man in the face. Look him in the face. Chat motion granted. Chat motion granted. We have to go to code red. We have to. Oh my God. For those of you that are new to the Law and Order chat, welcome. Yes, this is what we do here. Code red is our code. What the fuck? It's for when fuckery absolutely pops off and there's not enough goat screams in the world. So for those of you that are flash sensitive, it is a flashy bumper. The flashing ends when the music ends. We're going to code red. I will tell you a story of woe later about me fighting with my lights all last night. Miguelina, I don't think we need to send out another code red because we just sent that everybody that Harvey was coming, but we have to go to code red because holy shit, here we are. I don't know what's happening. I'm flabbergasted. We're just going to let this roll now that we're at code red because 20,000 plus law nerds all just went, oh, no, you didn't at the same time. Well, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that works out for you. Because if the judge wasn't going to say something to Donna, I imagine the judge is going to respond to this shit as he should. Oh, shit.
Loss of their son. But they also contend to tell lies to the court about our grandchildren.
I backed up too much. Back
Donna
to the Markells lying.
Been a loving and caring wife and is innocent of the charges. A biased judge and jury were influenced by years of one-sided news pieces and social media.
Doctor.
The judge interrupted. The judge interrupted.
Sided news pieces and social media.
Doctor, Ms. Fulford, this has nothing to do with the character of the defendant or relates to sentencing.
May I just a moment, please?
Go ahead.
Look at the prosecutor's face. Look at the prosecutor's face. Look at the prosecutor is trying to bite back a smile. The judge is like, this has nothing to do with character. He just wants to yell at me. Oh, Judge Everett. This man is entirely out of line. And the judge is just like, I'm not going to sit here and take this bullshit. But did you notice how calm he is? When they talk about judicial demeanor, this is the epitome of judicial demeanor. He is saying that a biased judge, Harvey Adelson, the defendant's husband, is in court yelling that a biased judge and a biased jury were influenced by the media. And the judge is like, excuse me, counsel, what does this have to do with character? I mean, it shows Harvey's character, doesn't it? But how does this have to do with the character of the defendant? Woo! Get it, Judge Everett. I had to back it up. I wanted to hear him interrupt again.
Do with the character of the defendant or relates to
Look
sentencing.
at George's face. Look at George's
Go
face.
ahead.
George is like, she's gonna go through the letter and what, line things out the way that Sarah Boone's attorney had to do. Is that what we're doing? She's gonna be like, sir, you can't do this. You need a red pen there, counsel, to go ahead and deal with what's being said. Just go cross some things out. And she is too. I'm not zooming because I need to recover. She should have looked at it. Harvey, go stand there. Go stand there and look at the judge who's looking at you. Time out. She's marking up his statement with Zellman. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever seen a judge call timeout in an impact statement like this, and it's completely appropriate to do. And I'm glad that he did, because it's just ridiculous to sit there. It's supposed to be character. This is not an impact statement. It is a character witness for the defense. Victims get to make impact statements. Victims' families get to make impact statements about how these crimes have impacted them. This is not an impact statement. This is character of the defendant. It's not about how it impacted you. It's not about what you think about the court system. It's about the character of the defendant. And he's not having it. Harvey. Interesting. And Jackie Fulford's going to be like, sir, you can't yell at the judge. You can't talk about
All right, thank you for letting me continue. Donna did not participate.
Did he read the room a little bit? Yeah, he read the room a little bit. Thank you for letting me continue. He could have told you to sit the fuck down. Oh my God. I can't believe the audacity.
All right, thank you for letting me continue.
Shit.
Donna did not participate in the heinous acts that she was convicted of doing. You're sending an innocent woman to prison. You have taken my wife and you have taken my life as well. And for what?
This is still not character. This is still not character. Also, the judge isn't doing it. You're putting blame in the wrong place.
This is not justice. It is vengeance, and it is wrong.
Your statement's not about character.
You have an examination for Dr. Adelson.
No, Your Honor. No, Judge.
Any other witness statements that you wish to give?
I don't believe so, just one second.
Holy shit, Harvey. Well, I guess we know how he feels. I guess we're aware of how Harvey's feeling. Harvey made it pretty clear.
We don't have any further witnesses, Judge, but
Probably a good thing.
Mrs. Adelson has decided she would like to make an unsworn statement to the court.
Well, if you're part of the Law Nerd app, you're just going to be getting all the notifications. Let's go ahead and end that poll. 40% of you said yes, she would make a statement with 14,000 votes. 40% of you were correct. Donna. Donna's going to say exactly what everyone else has just said, isn't she? Isn't she? Because Donna isn't going to be able to help herself. So for the 40% of you that said Donna's going to have something to say, congratulations, you were right. For the rest of you, congratulations. You get to be pleasantly surprised that Donna's actually going to say something. Let's go.
Unsworn?
Yes, Judge.
Unsworn.
All of the witnesses will be sworn this afternoon if she wishes to speak.
Judge, the case law indicates, confirms that the defendant.
They're going to argue about whether or not she's going to be sworn. Oh shit, we might have prematurely celebrated. She might change her mind if they're going to swear her.
We don't have any further witnesses, Judge.
I backed up.
Mrs. Adelson has decided she would like to make an unsworn statement to the court.
Unsworn?
Yes, Judge.
All of the witnesses will be sworn this afternoon if she wishes to speak.
Judge, the case law indicates, confirms that the defendant has the right to make an unsworn statement prior to sentencing.
What case law?
Court, Rule 3.720B states the court shall entertain submissions of evidence by the parties that are relevant to the sentence.
Oh, they were well prepared for this. He's got the law ready because she doesn't want to be sworn in. And they've got the law ready because this might have to go to appellate rights, that she doesn't want it to go towards her appellate rights, but she wants it to be unsworn. She does not want to be sworn in. She does not want to make a statement under oath, which is also telling.
A number of cases, Your Honor, that have interpreted this, especially in a capital case.
Why is it such a big deal, though?
The defendant having a right to make an unsworn statement.
Why is it so important to her to be
Please give the
unsworn?
citations.
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me.
Give the citation.
First is
I'm trying to get this
Smith
lamp
State,
to make the right color red.
268, Southern 3rd, 831. It's from the first DCA in 2019.
Remember when I was talking last week about lawyers going to work sick?
You want me to continue, Your Honor?
Yeah,
Give me one
please,
moment.
please continue, Mr. Zellman.
Bringing up my Westlaw.
Bringing up my Westlaw.
Bringing up my Westlaw.
The court's going to his case sites to see if she has.
Citation again?
Sure. It's 268 Southern 3rd, 831.
268, 738, 831. She doesn't want to be sworn. Chat's like, why doesn't she want to be sworn? This is purely EDB speculation. Her attorneys might have talked to her about appellate rights, but this also may just be a power struggle. But her attorneys might have talked to her about her appellate rights. But we might have, to everyone who just came in from the app, like Donna wants to make a statement. We prematurely binged because we were like, well, Donna wants to make a statement, but now they're fighting over whether or not Donna will be sworn in to make the statement. I'm still reeling because of Harvey's statement. And you're right, chat. We should reset from code red. Yesterday, I actually deleted all of my my light presets as I was reorganizing my office and getting it ready for the spooky season. So I'm still fighting with them. But yes, I think we do need to reset to so we have somewhere to go, right? Because Harvey's statements are done.
Which pinpoint site are you referring to in the case?
It's not, let's see.
They're talking about the case law. This is much. I'm here for it. I'm going to answer some questions. We're staying right here. I'm not going to zoom.
Your Honor, I'm going to give you this one. It's Hill versus State.
I don't know if the judge will interrupt her.
Southern 3rd.
If she's sworn, I think he just lets her go.
It's for the 4th District Court of Appeal.
One moment.
Yes, sir.
246 Southern 3rd, what's the last part?
Welcome, Renee.
392.
To everyone who gifted memberships, thank you very much. Stephanie in the chat said, Harvey, what in the actual French toast? 100%. TY Fuzzle or Ty Fuzzle said, sir, this is a Wendy's. I mean, or sir, this is not a Burger King. You cannot have it your way. This judge is 100% not the one for that kind of fuckery. And Ashley said, don't forget, Harvey, a lot of those emails came in from your joint email. Mango Jelly said it's giving Sarah Boone.
Seeing in the case where
Blame everyone.
the defendant has a right to make an unsworn statement, we will proceed.
And take no responsibility. The defense won on that point. The court went to the case law and said, the defendant has a right to make an unsworn statement. Isn't it somewhat telling that that's what she wants? That she does not want to be put under oath to make her own statement? It says a lot to me, but the judge is like, that's what the law you cited says. They were ready for this. They were 100% ready for this with those citations. Let's find out why. Oh, Donna.
Would you like Mrs. Adelson at the lectern or here?
She's going to remain at council table.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
let her stay there. She gonna stand up? Oh, she's banging her papers on the table. Did you see the stack of papers? Look at this. Chad, if you're listening in the background, come back real quick. Look at this. Stacking the papers.
She's going to remain at council
Watch
table.
this.
Thank you. I'm going to move the microphone.
That's a lot of papers.
And then you speak loudly because this is not amplified.
Okay. Is this loud enough, Judge?
I can hear you.
We hear you loud and
Thank you
clear,
for letting
ma'am.
me speak. My son-in-law, Dan Markell, was a fine and decent man. He was well-educated and passionate about his career. He was a good son-in-law, but more importantly, he was a caring and loving father. On July 18th, 2014, his car was followed, leaving his home. It should have been just like any other day, an ordinary day in the life of Ben and Lincoln's father, but it wasn't. He didn't know when he left his boys off at daycare that would be the last time he would see them.
But did you?
And the last time they would see him. He didn't know when he went to the gym afterwards that would be the last time he would exercise.
But did you?
And he didn't know when he drove home that his life would end within minutes. Danny wasn't just being followed, he was being hunted. He was
Why?
brutally murdered in broad daylight, sitting in his car, in his garage, by vicious killers. I cannot imagine the terror he felt when he saw a gun pointed at him through the window of his car. I
don't understand how you can cry without your nose getting red, but, you know.
Conceive of his heroic efforts to stay alive during the hours after the attack. Danny
really
died in the early
bold.
morning hours of July 19th. His death is a loss to his children, his parents, his...
Can I have a
his
tissue, she
sister,
asked.
all of us in his family, his friends,
Us?
his colleagues in the legal community, and to his students at FSU Law School. Danny's boys each have a photo of themselves with their Abba, their dad, beside their beds. They grew up kissing the framed photo and saying, "Good night, Abba, I love you." But pictures and memories are all they have because cruel, cold-hearted people took him from all of us who loved him. My heart was broken when Danny died. My grandsons were going to grow up without the father who loved them. I wondered, how could we help these boys through this trauma? It was then that my husband and I knew that the best way to honor Danny's memory would be to share with these children.
Would be to change their last name immediately? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. That's not what you're going on to say. I just ask you, for those of you that have watched impact statements with me in the past, we have watched some very emotional, very touching impact statements. And for those of you that are prone to feeling the feels as we watch those statements and sit here and cry with me as I cry through those statements, is this one dredging up any emotion for you? Are the heartstrings tugged at all? Any of you? Because a lot of you will cry during a commercial. Sarah McLachlan in the Arms of an Angel starts playing and there's a face of a dog and tears are immediately falling. Anyone? Because the only emotion I have right now is, I think that's rage. That might be rage. Definitely in the vicinity of frustration, anger, audacity. Some of you are calling disgust. Fair. But not heartache. I'm not getting heartache from her. I'm also getting anger from her too. Maybe that's just me. I'm sorry. She's talking about how to support the grandkids through this tragedy. By changing their name.
It was then that my husband and I knew that the best way to honor Danny's memory would be to share with these children an abundance of love. The love that Danny would have given them if he were alive. It is interesting how the state can't make up its mind about who is what they call the, quote, mastermind behind this murder.
Oh, you're gonna go after the prosecutors now. Okay.
Both of Catherine Magbanaw's trials, the state claimed she was the mastermind behind Danny's murder. In my son Charlie Adelson's trial, they claimed he was the mastermind. And now in my trial, they claimed that this grandma, was the mastermind behind the murder.
Well, it wasn't Taylor Swift,
I had
ma'am.
no idea that other people planned to cut Danny's life short. And the people who did this are exactly where they deserve to be. But I had no knowledge that this horrible, evil act was going to...
It was unintentional, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Sarah Boone. I mean, Donna Adelson. Your Honor, Your Honor. Everyone should be in prison. Except for me. This grandma shouldn't be in prison. Everyone else, the conspiracy is right as to everyone else, Your Honor, except for me. Sure. It wasn't me. Sure, Donna.
I had no idea that other people planned to cut Danny's life short. And the people who did this are exactly where they deserve to be. But I had no knowledge that this horrible, evil act was going to take place. If I had become aware of this plan before Danny was murdered, I would have stopped it. With not one iota of actual evidence, the state convinced a Tallahassee jury that I solicited and conspired with other people to have Danny killed.
Ma'am, do you know what evidence is? No? Okay.
Where is the evidence prior to the murder? The evidence beyond a reasonable...
George's hair is coming for you. Look at that hair. It's so good.
...doubt that the state needed to prove their case. Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning?
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson.
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson, the court says, ooh, well, she stopped trying to act sad, didn't she? She stopped trying to act sad and it's just giving rage. And the judge is like, ma'am, before you continue, because now she's talking about the evidence in the case. She's not talking about character.
Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning?
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson, as it relates to this statement, is the defense trying to re-argue the trial?
No, Judge, just getting...
Is the defense trying to re-argue the trial? Remember, the defense motion for reconsideration on the motion to dismiss, the motion for judgment of acquittal, all of those motions have been denied. Denied, denied, denied. And she is now making the same argument that was made during the motion for and the motion for reconsideration of the judgment of acquittal, arguing that there's no evidence. Well, ma'am, I disagree with that, but the judge is saying, are we trying to relitigate the motion to dismiss? Okay, everybody take a deep breath and let's dive back into the audacity. The tone of voice change was wild there. So if you're listening in the background, and I know many of you do, come on back to the screen real quick. Watch Donna get derailed here by the court. Watch how, this is what courts watch. Watch how she changes as she gets derailed by the court.
Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 in the morning?
Before you continue, Mrs. Adelson, as it relates to this statement, is the defense trying to re-argue the trial?
No, Judge, just giving Adelson an opportunity to be heard.
Mrs. Adelson, you certainly can continue. However, the court can take into consideration the utter lack of remorse that you are displaying.
Boom, there it is. This goes beyond a lack of remorse.
Certainly can continue. However, the court can take into consideration the utter lack of remorse that you are displaying. Please proceed if you desire to do so.
Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 a.m. that revealed that I had any involvement in this vile and horrific act? Where is the solicitation?
I don't mean to laugh at her. The judge clocked it so fast, and her demeanor flipping through rage and spite and anger, then to like crumple as she looks at the court, and then to try to get back into whatever this is preposterous to watch happen. Also, the fact that she didn't choose to then just stop, as the court said, remember that lack of remorse is something I will take into consideration. I don't have any reaction, but just I'm flabbergasted. But I think that even if the judge was not going to make a ton of a statement after today, the judge might take 5 minutes and be like, let me just take a breath because I have a few things to say.
And conspiracy evidence.
I'm trying to let her reactions flow smoothly. Woo! As she gets back into her statement, I backed it up because I interrupted.
Where is the evidence before July 18th, 2014 at 10:50 a.m. that revealed that I had any involvement in this vile and horrific act? Where is the solicitation and conspiracy evidence? The state needed to show that there was evidence before the murder to convict
Save it for your appeal.
The state couldn't show that.
You should have talked to your lawyer about it.
Any evidence. They were trying an innocent person.
Oh, strong disagree.
It makes you wonder if the jurors were sleeping when the state had...
You want to piss off the court? First, your husband calling the judge biased is a thing, but the judge is going to be like, look, people call me names. It is what it is. But to go after whether the jurors were sleeping, ma'am.
Had Sergeant Corbett on the stand for hours. Their own star witness testified that my phone was never, I repeat, never at my son's house on the night of the murder.
That wasn't the testimony, ma'am. It's so interesting how you hear the things you want to hear when you're viewing them through a lens. That's not what the evidence was. That's not what the evidence was. That's not what the evidence was, Donna. You have convinced yourself that that's what he said. That's not what he said.
I repeat, never at my son's house on the night of the murder.
That's not
the state's
evidence.
Theory that my husband and I dropped off money to my son was blown out of the water by their own witness. And yet, the state continued to push that story, that lie
Full
of the
Sarah Boone,
so-called
then.
money drop to the jury through the remainder of the trial.
Full Sarah Boone.
And the jury bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Reasonable doubt. Many months ago, my attorneys filed a motion.
Oh, she is. She's just going to relitigate the whole thing.
For a change of venue.
Oh, you and your husband have the exact same bit on this. Well, that's true, y'all. It's true. Donna did not ask for forgiveness, and Donna did not say she was forgiving anyone. That's fair. Sarah Boone did say she forgave everyone. True. She just wants to relitigate because she can do it better than her lawyers, it seems. Okay.
Jury through the remainder of the trial.
Motion for change of
And
venue.
the jury bought into it, hook, line, and sinker.
I backed up.
Reasonable doubt.
No, it's not.
Many months ago, my attorneys filed a motion for a change of venue. An expert witness testified that Tallahassee had been barraged with over 9 years of negative social media, printed news,
We didn't cover social
television
media.
news, and podcast publicity about my family.
Not the podcast.
He explained to the court, both with evidence and demonstratives, that for me to receive a fair trial, it needed to be held in any of the research.
For those of you that are just tuning in and would like to know the ruling behind this, if you didn't watch it, that's not a worry. I've got you. Give me 30 seconds. Lies. I should never put a timer on myself. Donna filed a motion for change of venue. You know what the court did? The court reserved ruling. So if they started picking a jury and numerous jurors were unable to be on the jury because of the publicity, and they had so many jurors come in that knew of the case and couldn't be fair, that they would then grant the change of venue once they started jury selection. This was similar to what we saw in the Murdaugh case. Like, hey, we need to start picking the jury and then we will see, which is the procedure in so many jurisdictions. I hear your motion. It wasn't denied. Your lawyers can bring it back up if we start selecting a jury and we can't select the jury. The court reserved it. Her lawyers never raised the issue again. Because once they started seating the jurors, a lot of the jurors hadn't heard of the case. And that's how a lot of change of venue motions go. Because you can say this many people in a jurisdiction might have seen this particular news story on the TV. You can't really know if jurors have heard it until you start seating them. Also, this is a good point. Mary MJJ said, and they were 10 years old. Exactly. And the jurors were also kids 10 years ago. Right? Everyone else's fault, y'all. It's everyone else's fault. I have a podcast. It's our fault, law nerds, for not buying into whatever this is.
Searched in designated areas in the state of Florida.
I'll let her continue. Oh. Some of you are saying in the Oscar goes to, no, it has to be believable to win awards.
Social media, printed news, television news,
I think she did just hiccup.
Podcast publicity about my family. He explained to the court, both with evidence and demonstratives, that for me to receive a fair trial, it needed to be held in any of the researched and designated areas in the state of Florida, other than Tallahassee. All I wanted was a level playing field, but the court wanted the trial here in the hotbed of Tallahassee. I sat through 3 days of jury selection.
What, the hotbed of Donna hate? Okay.
180 potential jurors were asked if they had developed an opinion in my case. Those that answered yes also added, I believe she is guilty. Not one person, not one, said, I think she may be innocent.
It's because they were paying attention to the evidence.
That should have been a clue to the court to grant our motion for a change of venue, but the court denied the motion. One of my jurors admitted during jury selection that she had background information concerning what one of the state's witnesses would be testifying about.
My jurors.
Why was she allowed to be on my jury?
What moment?
The court just said one moment. This sounds like she's starting to make a motion for ineffective assistance of counsel. I wonder if the court is going to say, if you are starting to complain about your lawyers, that needs to be a separate motion. The court just said one moment.
One of my jurors admitted during jury selection that she had background information concerning what one of the state's witnesses would be testifying about. Why was she allowed to be on my jury?
What moment?
Another juror.
Mrs. Fulford.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Mr. Zellman. Again, this has nothing to do with elocution of any sort. This is a raising of grievances, which are properly given.
It is a full airing of grievances, Your Honor.
This is a raising of grievances, which are properly given to the appellate court. What does any of this have to do with sentencing?
Could I have just one moment, please?
Your Honor, you are lawfully correct. You are patient. We appreciate you. But also, can we just let her continue to air it out? Because I'm curious what she's thinking. All of you in the chat are like, save it for Festivus. Yes. Full airing of grievances. But yes, it is for the appellate court. But Your Honor, I want to hear her say it. So for the law nerds, Your Honor, you are correct. However, can we just be a little bit wrong and just let her have her moment and just make a note? Just let her mention it all, Your Honor. Give her the amount of road that she wants to run down. All right? Let's just let her, she wants to have her moment on the TV. Let's just let her have her moment. Because I want to hear the rest of what she's going to say. She's going to keep her appellate lawyers busy. Also, Your Honor, it's not going to change your sentence. She's getting life. Just give her a minute. Let her just. We're here. We got time. We know what she's going to say. The Honor. The judge is blinking so quickly. Just blinking so quickly. They're trying. Y'all, those of you that didn't watch the Sarah Boone trial, Donna's lawyers, for those of you listening in the background, just took her statement away from her. Sarah Boone's lawyers edited her statement. Sarah edited her statement. And then after sentencing, she mailed it to the court and was like, you know what? Fuck you, fuck them, fuck everybody. Here's my full statement. Just let her have her tantrum or her airing of grievances. I can't believe they wouldn't have read it, but they just took it. But the judge is just blinking so fast. Vanilla Bean in the chat said, lawyer EDB versus content creator EDB, always funny. Yeah.
Turn that phone off or step out.
I'm struggling. I am. I'm struggling because the wildness is happening in the court. Donna's statement is so incredibly disrespectful, but it also tells you exactly who she is, right? So it just... It's just wild. I'm going to read some of y'all's chats while we're waiting. I want to see how long it takes. Seba in the chat said Donna is equally audacious to Sarah, but less fun. I mean, I think when it comes to Sarah Boone didn't go in to the evening with victim Torres intending that he die. I think she had a knowing and reckless indifference to human life. Donna is more planned. Also, I should remind all of you to like and subscribe because I noticed some of you have gotten unsubscribed recently. YouTube just went through another one of its YouTube-y whatevers. So just double check. And for those of you, if you've tried to chat and can't, we do have it always set to subscribers mode. Oh, it was Harvey's phone. That's a 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10 that it was Harvey's phone that was ringing. Good to see you, Isaac Baruch's wholesome Gabagool art. That is the username for the super chat. Thank you. Do we have 26,000 live? I'm sure we do, because sentencing is always interesting. This is something.
Please.
We are going to
What happened to Danny is unforgivable.
We are going to see Donna. What she took out? Wasn't she just wearing glasses? The glasses have come off because you read better without them. It's the inconsistency for me. Headphones on, headphones off, glasses on, glasses off. I mean, I have to take mine off to see my phone, but that's where we're at. But they were on at the beginning and now they're off. Okay.
But I am an innocent woman convicted of this terrible.
Oh, okay. She is going to say again that she's innocent. Sure, Donna. Okay.
Please.
What happened to Danny is unforgivable. But I am an innocent woman convicted of this terrible crime without evidence. Danny was a brilliant legal scholar. He would have been appalled at the total lack of justice that went on during my trial.
Oof.
He would have been embarrassed to have his name associated with any of it. There are 2 crimes here.
Ugh.
The first was Danny
That.
being viciously murdered. The second one is taking my life, the life of an innocent woman. Convicting me should not be retribution for Danny's death. That is not justice for Dan. I've always respected the law. I've never gotten a parking ticket, but I'm going to prison for a murder I did not commit. I do intend to file an appeal so that hopefully I have the opportunity to be given a fair trial outside of Tallahassee. 11 years ago, Danny was murdered and taken from all of us who loved him. For the past 9.5 years, the state has broadcast to the world, including Danny's parents and sister, that I hired hitmen to kill him. Never in a million years would I have wanted Danny to be harmed or killed, nor could I ever do something that would leave these 2 small boys to grow up without him. I love these boys.
Without their father?
More than life itself.
That I believe.
This is a lifetime of loss for these children. They didn't deserve this. His family didn't deserve this. Danny didn't deserve this. And so, as I appear before you today, Your Honor,
What now?
I promise you with my whole heart, I swear to you on my life, I was...
It's an unsworn statement, Donna. You wanted the unsworn statement. You fought for the unsworn statement with your lawyers. Don't sit here and swear on your life during your unsworn statement that you're an innocent woman. You should have sworn the statement if you wanted to swear. I want to swear more.
Appear before you today, Your Honor. I promise you with my whole heart, I swear to you on my life, I was not involved in any way with Danny's murder. I was not.
Defense have any further argument to make?
Any more? The judge, anything else? I could never judicial demeanor the way he is. Your Honor, just hats off. I salute you with my fizzy water.
Judge, before Ms. Fulford makes the argument, I want to address a comment that the court made a few moments ago concerning...
Okay, counsel. Counsel wants to address a comment the court made a few moments ago.
Considering lack of remorse in fashioning a sentence. Shepherd v. State 227 Southern 3rd 746, the First District Court of Appeal held that lack of remorse cannot be considered in fashioning an appropriate sentence. If this were a situation where remorse and admission of guilt may be grounds for mitigation, the lack of these factors cannot be used to increase the defendant's sentence, and such reliance violates the defendant's due process rights. And they also rely on Ritter v. State 885 Southern 2nd 413, also a first DCA case.
I believe the Supreme Court has ruled on this issue concerning remorse and lack of showing remorse as well. If you need me to find the citation for you, I will.
Yes, please.
We'll take a 10-minute break.
The lawyer is lawyering. I don't blame him for lawyering. I don't. It's just...
We'll resume at 4:16.
It's a more concise presentation of case law than we've seen the entire trial. They're taking a 10-minute break. We've given ourselves a bit of zoom room because I had to pause and collect myself with the audacity that we have seen. For those of you just joining us for the sentencing of Donna Adelson, count 1, the first-degree murder in Florida, there is a statutory sentence. There is no discretion. The court can sentence her to life. And that is it. Life, period. No anything else. Life. On counts 2 and 3, which are the conspiracy to commit murder and solicitation to commit murder, the state is asking for 30 years on each of those counts, consecutive to the life count, but concurrent to each other. And we can get into the nuts and bolts of that later, because ultimately, does it really matter? Donna is not going to live for one lifetime and then an additional 60 years. It is because appellate court's appellate. And if something happened to count 1 and not to counts 2 and 3, she would still have 30 years and or 60 years, depending on how the court sentences it. So we will take a look at what the court has to say. But the defense has asked for a case citation about whether or not lack of remorse can be considered in sentencing. But as to count 1, there's no room for discretion, so it doesn't really matter, because there is no discretion in it. So the court's going to take a break and then resume with sentencing, and we are going to zoom past that 10-minute break, because today has been, like Gem and the Holograms, truly outrageous. I don't know what I was expecting, but the coming in hot. I mean, and you can see, my opinion, that you can see where Donna is having these conversations with those that spoke on her behalf, because all of them are echoing what she has been saying. All of them have echoed the sentiment that the media and the court and the change of venue motion and how unfair this has all been, because that's how Donna sees it. Donna is outraged that this could possibly happen to her. How dare they do this to her? That's all I'm taking away from this. But it's something. And when I say I do not have judicial demeanor, it's because sitting on the bench and not going, oh, what? Is something I don't think I could do. Because it's just like, even my fizzy water is fighting with me today. The Donna-ing of it all is just wild. All right, the court's back on the bench. Donna's hair clip is out of her hair. And let's hear what the case side is about whether or not remorse can be considered at sentencing, or lack of remorse. Notice that Donna's, I don't know about you, but I look like a hot mess when I cry. Notice Donna's eyes were only red after she rubbed them with the tissue. I sure did.
You, Davis.
He's asking the defense for case sites. I backed up just a second.
Gentlemen, were you able to review Davis?
Briefly, Your Honor, Davis was not a capital case. This is a capital case. Although the criminal punishment code would only apply to the non.
They're reviewing case law, the case Davis, saying we're reviewing a capital case, and the court said this is a capital case. Just because the state does not seek the death penalty in a given case doesn't mean it's not a capital case if that is an option. But does Donna look like she's been crying for the last hour? No.
Capital cases, I would already submit to Your Honor that it is distinguishable under those circumstances.
Going to read from Head Note 8 and 9.
The court's reading the law onto the record.
Nor was Davis forced to choose between allocution and maintenance of his innocence. He certainly could have allocuted without voicing his disagreement with the verdict, blaming the driver, the police, his lawyer, the trial court for his conviction, and attempting to explain his personal interpretations of the law to the judge.
Could have allocuted, which is giving the statement that she's giving, could have allocuted without blaming. The court is reading the Davis case about the right of allocution and maintaining one's innocence as it applies to remorse.
9. Nor was Davis forced to choose between allocution and maintenance of his innocence, he certainly could have allocuted without voicing his disagreement with the verdict, blaming the driver, the police, his lawyer, the trial court for his conviction, and attempting to explain his personal interpretations of the law to the judge. He could have asked for leniency without admitting guilt. He could have provided the judge with reasons to impose a sentence less than the maximum besides his claimed innocence. But he instead chose to make a lengthy statement claiming innocence, denying responsibility, and placing blame for his conviction on the alleged misconduct of others. The trial court.
The defense is trying to say this case is distinguishable. However, it sounds like the same. The judge is just like, does any of this sound familiar?
Was under no obligation to ignore such statements and did not err in considering those statements and imposing the legal sentence here. Do you have anything that distinguishes Davis in any way?
As I said, Your Honor, Davis was not a capital case.
Well, any other arguments?
The defense is trying to distinguish it by saying Davis was not a capital case and this case is a capital case. No.
For evidence the defense wishes to present.
Yes, Judge, thank you.
More
Please
evidence.
move forward.
I'm interested to hear what the judge has to say at the end of all of this.
Your Honor, we're aware that in count one, the court has no choice but to sentence Mrs. Adelson to life for the first-degree murder charge.
That's correct.
We are going to request a downward departure as to counts 2 and counts 3, the solicitation and the conspiracy counts.
What are the grounds?
Pardon me?
What are the grounds?
Yes. The grounds are, one is non-statutory, and that's disparity in the treatment between co-defendants. And the second reason is statutory, and it is...
I think that's exactly how all the
Statute
defendants got treated.
921.00262B, the defendant was an accomplice to the offense and was a relatively minor participant in the criminal conduct.
Minor accomplice, not principal? Is that... Anything else? Jackie, anything else?
The evidence in support of...
And now the court is going to rule. Let's hear what the judge has to say, because Jackie didn't make any more of an argument. She didn't say anything on behalf of Donna Adelson. She said, consider disparity among defendants, but didn't cite what that was. Woo!
Sub B would be the trial record, or do you have something more specific?
Oh, he's asking her for further argument. Just kidding. I jumped.
For 4B, we're going to rely on the trial record with respect to the conduct.
He's asking her if she's going to say anything
We
else.
would ask the court to take judicial notice. Your Honor did preside over Charlie Adelson's trial, and the evidence regarding the other co-defendants' activities or participation was also brought out in the testimony in the trial of Mrs. Adelson, so we'd rely on that record, Judge.
You're not going to argue at all?
Ms. Kappelman, as to the argued grounds for statutory mitigation and also non-statutory mitigation,
She barely said
does the
anything.
state have any argument to make?
No, Your Honor.
You may continue.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, all right. She's
I'll
got
start
more.
with the disparity. Do you need case law citations for this, or you're...
So the court is going to let her make further argument. I thought she was done. That's how hard she is to follow. All right, let's hear the defense argument about the mitigation and downward departure. The defense is asking that the court go less than what's being recommended in the PSI. We don't know what's been recommended on the PSI. She might say it. That's the pre-sentencing investigation. Let's hear what they have to say.
Aware of it, Judge. Okay. The first case would be Sanders v. State, 510 Southern 2nd, 296. This is a Florida Supreme Court case from 1987.
One moment. 510 Southern 2nd. What was the other part of the citation?
This is why you have people
296, and
submit
that's
written
Florida
memorandums.
Supreme Court in 1987.
Case law is cited.
Go ahead.
State versus Fernandez, 927 Southern 2nd, 939, which is a third DCA case from 2006.
If a sentencing submission was done, then he would have all
You
the
may.
sites and he wouldn't need to get them now. Donna seems to have composed herself very quickly. I
And then
think
the
she's
third
just
case,
mad.
Judge is State, I can't pronounce it, but State versus Kunkemoller, 333 Southern 3rd, 335. That's a first DCA case from 2022, but it is distinguishable because it does not address.
Wait, no, go back to whatever that mic setting was. Whatever setting. Hey, pool camera. Go back to that one. You had it. Go back to that one. It was so good.
The issue of culpability as the first.
Damn it.
Do,
Back to
I
the
wanted to bring that to your
potato.
attention.
We were so close to not a potato. We were almost there, chat. This is why you just submit a sentencing memo. I know it was so clear. I think it was the audio at the podium. It sounded like the audio directly at the podium. That would have made sense to me. But we were so close to greatness. Wait, I know I said I wasn't going to zoom, but I can't. I think, this is so awkward. Can you imagine what that room must feel like after Harvey yelled at the court and Donna yelled at everybody? Can you imagine what it must feel like sitting in there? It's got to be so tense. All right, they are pulling up case law. See, if you submit a sentencing memo, the court can read the case law in advance. And then we don't do this. But whatever. I'm going to zoom a little bit. Because they're sitting there reading. And I want to hear what the judge has to say. Yay, case law. How long are we reading for? There we go. We had to just jump forward just a little bit more.
Levels are.
All right. Back to the argument on the co-defendants. There we go.
Then continue.
Thank you, Judge. I'll start with the disparity argument, if I may, Your Honor. In this case, there have been several co-defendants who have either been tried or entered pleas and received sentences. I want to, for this particular argument, relate exclusively to Luis Rivera. He testified in the trial, and through himself and other witnesses, Your Honor has heard what he did in this case. And what he did in this case compared to what the state has alleged and the jury found that Mrs. Adelson did, the culpability levels are very different. Mr. Rivera was allowed to enter a plea to second-degree murder. And although, as the PSI indicates, he received a sentence of 19 years in the Department of Corrections, that was run concurrent.
They're talking about the driver who took responsibility early in the case. Taking responsibility early is a reason to take a plea deal. Also, cooperating with the investigation can be a reason somebody is offered a plea deal. But saying that there is sentence disparity because he got 19 years and she's looking at 30 on counts 2 and 3 are not the same. When you're looking at sentencing disparity, generally you're looking after trial. After trial, did other similarly situated defendants get wildly different sentences? This is not the same.
With a sentence he was already serving in a completely unrelated matter in a federal case.
Yeah, he got a concurrent sentence.
He got a 12-year sentence. So the number of years that he will actually serve for his participation in the homicide of Dan Markell is 7 years in the state of Florida Department of Corrections.
Well, no, that's not quite accurate.
His conduct, as Your Honor can recall, is that he traveled to Tallahassee sometime in June.
These are not similarly situated.
And scoped out the home of Danny Markell. Engaged in some drug activity with Sigfredo Garcia, and then returned to South Florida. A few weeks later, he returned to Tallahassee and again scoped out Danny Markel's house. But he didn't just do that. Prior to arriving in Tallahassee, with himself knowing that he and Sigfredo Garcia were going to kill Danny Markel, he purchased and provided the very firearm that was used to kill Danny. He came to Tallahassee and they sat in wait outside his home.
You're going to try to throw Sigfredo under the bus?
They followed him with Mr. Rivera being the driver, followed him while he took his 2 little boys to daycare, and he watched. He sat and watched as Mr. Markel, hand in hand, took those children inside the daycare. He then followed Mr. Markel all the way to the gym.
This is a choice.
Sitting in wait. What was he waiting for? He knew what he was waiting for. Mr. Markel did not. He had no clue that these men were outside in a car just waiting for him to go to a place where they could shoot and kill him.
But you know who did.
And they waited until he exercised. They watched him get back into his vehicle, and then like hunters, traveled and followed all of this time period straight to his home. And there was no hesitation. He knew exactly what they were going to do. Without any hesitation, they pulled right in behind Danny. Danny's car was still running. The garage door was up.
This is not even an
Sigfredo Garcia
argument
exits the car
about treating
and shoots
defendants the
Danny
same.
Markel, having done nothing to these men, in the head twice.
Having done nothing to these men. So why would they drive all the way from Miami to Tallahassee to shoot a law professor, ma'am? They don't know who the fuck this dude is. So why would they do that?
Mr. Markel survived, I don't know. But then Luis Rivera is the getaway driver. They flee the scene, they flee Tallahassee, and then Mr. Rivera stops to allow Sigfredo Garcia to dispose of the murder weapon,
didn't work in
which
closing.
has never been found. And
It's
then
not
he
working
drives
now.
back to South Florida like nothing has happened, purchasing motorcycles and cars,
and picks
but
up,
most importantly, getting paid for the work that he's
getting paid. He got paid in damp dollars.
just done. The payment came from Catherine Banois, and I'll address her in the next.
And where'd she get the money from?
The point
Ma'am.
here is, Judge, that over time, reading different things, you've heard a lot of arguments about what Mrs. Adelson's participation allegedly was. But when it comes down to it, and I didn't mention, but Luis Rivera did have an extensive criminal history at the time that he committed this offense. What actually came out at trial with
You're going to tell me that someone who was hired to commit a murder has a criminal record? Ma'am, I am just shocked that that is the way I am shocked that that's the way the world works. Y'all should have listened to Rivera. Rivera said, look, this dude's a dentist. We should rob these people. Robbery's less than 19 years. If nobody gets shot. Nobody wanted to listen to Rivera. Because you know why? Because McBanois said, no, it had to get done. Why'd she say that? Because Charlie was saying, this is causing my mother too much stress. It has to get done. Rivera was like, crime logic, man.
Back to Mrs. Adelson, and I'm saying this, understanding, as you've learned, that Mrs.
Why are you couching what you're saying in your argument?
What actually came out at trial with respect to Mrs. Adelson, and I'm saying this, understanding, as you've learned, that Mrs. Adelson still maintains that she is innocent of this conduct. But what the state was able to show through their testimony and evidence was that the role that she played, according to them in the prosecution, was very minimal. The evidence showed that she was very upset when relocation was denied in 2013, not knowing that her daughter had agreed to it, not knowing that until she sat here in trial hearing her daughter's testimony. She wrote some very ugly emails. She said some very ugly things. But in not one of those emails did it ever say that she wished harm upon Danny Markel. And this was in
No. In those emails, she said she wanted to psychologically torture him. No, that's what she said. So maybe we have a different viewpoint on what torture means, perhaps.
2013. The evidence was presented by the state that was over a year later that Danny was killed after relocation had been denied. Although they argued that there was continued hostility on the part of Mrs. Adelson regarding the issue of relocation.
The hostility hasn't ceased, ma'am. You were just in the courtroom. Harvey's still feeling hostile.
With the hundreds of thousands of emails they had, they didn't present evidence that this ongoing dispute was being brought up in any way between the parties. The relocation between them, that issue had stopped.
Why did Wendy stop by in the house, though?
The testimony that was elicited was that
Why'd they start referring to the kids by Adelson and not Markel? Why'd that happen?
Charlie Adelson, the son of Mrs. Adelson, was the one who was close with Mrs. Adelson, and that when she had a problem, the argument from the
Markels
state
are on
was
Zoom
when she had
today.
a problem, Charlie was the problem solver. And the testimony at court that was presented by the state supported that theory, that Charlie was the problem solver. They further elicited evidence, testimony, that without any knowledge of what the phone calls were, Catherine Magbanawala testified that when she was with Charlie Adelson discussing scenarios, which she didn't describe what scenarios she was discussing, that on occasion there would be a phone call between Charlie and his mother. She didn't hear the mother speaking. In fact, he left the room when he talked to, allegedly, the mother, and he came back in. He never relayed to her any information about the phone call. But the state's theory and the evidence that they presented was because Donna Adelson had been so upset about the fact that relocation was denied,
to argue that Donna's a minimal
and she
participant.
continued to be upset, according to the testimony, that Charlie Adelson took it upon himself to reach out to someone, which was his girlfriend, and have her get someone that she knew who could commit this murder, make contact with them. According to the testimony in the state, in this case, Charlie Adelson told Catherine Magbanawala, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, it's just those the names were reused, but
It's
Mrs.
giving, I'm trying, Your
Magbanawala,
Honor.
that she wanted him killed and he would pay for that to happen. Her testimony was she had no idea what the payment was going to be, but she did in fact reach out to the father of her children, Sigfredo Garcia, and he agreed to commit the homicide. Mr. Garcia then elicited Luis Rivera to participate with him in the homicide, and I'm not going to go through all the evidence in the case. I want to focus on
You're not?
what Mrs. Adelson allegedly did. Up until the point of the homicide, the only evidence that was presented about Mrs. Adelson's participation were those ugly
Harvey
emails.
looks mad in the
And there's a
background.
distinction, as we discussed during the trial and sometimes even at sidebar, of the evidence being up to the moment that Mr. Markel was killed. Up to that time, the only evidence introduced by the state in this trial for that time period were those ugly emails, and they were ugly. She called him very foul names. She said some ugly language. She clearly was not happy. And
I have foul language. You are not telling the court why she is differently situated. Defense is trying to argue that Donna's a minimal participant, so there should be a downward departure. But that is not the point that is coming across to me. She is seemingly relitigating without saying minimal participant. Hopefully she'll bring it back around.
whatever conversations may have taken place while Catherine Magbanawala was inside Charlie Adelson's home and Charlie was outside talking to another person.
His parents?
Mrs. Adelson maintains her innocence.
We see.
But if you're looking at this particular cause of this disparity in treatment, the state is asking that Mrs. Adelson be sentenced to obviously life on count one, as she has to be, followed by 30 years in the Department of Corrections on counts 2 and 3.
They actually asked for 30 plus 30.
This is far in excess of the sentence that was received by the man who himself testified to hunting down Danny Markell, providing.
What did McBanawa get? What did Charlie get? What did Garcia get? What did everyone that went to trial and was convicted get? Not what the plea deal dude got. What did the trial defendants get? Not the plea deal.
Hiding the gun for him to be murdered with, leaving the scene of the crime, disposing of the murder weapon, and going on with his life in his gang as he always had. In that disparity, Judge, it just doesn't reconcile with the facts here of what they say Mrs. Adelson did. Although there was a theme that she was the mastermind, I would argue to the court that the evidence did not show she was the mastermind in any way.
I can't wait to
The
hear what the court has
masterminds
to
that were
say.
shown in this trial were Charles Adelson and Catherine McBanawa. It didn't show any activity prior to Mr. Markell being killed where Mrs. Adelson was involved in any way.
Take away what you're arguing as the theme for the moment. The chief difference between Luis Rivera and your client is he entered into a plea, correct?
That's correct. He did enter into a plea, but that, according to the case law, that can be considered.
And he has also cooperated with the state.
Plea deal, early acknowledgement of guilt, cooperation, not the same.
Testifying
Is
in
what the
many
court is
trials.
saying.
He was a cooperating witness testifying in these trials. Mrs. Adelson not only has maintained her innocence, she was never offered anything from the state.
Oh, that's good to know.
Please continue.
On the
Gee, I wonder why she was never offered anything from the state.
statutory basis, that the defendant
The
was
court
an
just gave her
accomplice
the
to
move along.
offense and was a relatively minor participant
And she is
in the
moving
criminal
along.
conduct. Some of what I've just argued applies to this one as well, Your Honor. But what I wanted to point out here were the ones that we didn't discuss. So Sigfredo Garcia was found guilty at trial, first-degree murder and conspiracy. His sentence was life on the homicide and an additional 30 years consecutive for the conspiracy count. He is the one who rode in the car. He is the one who obtained Luis Garcia to go with him.
I think all of them got life plus 30 consec. So.
He is the one who sat in the seat knowing he was going to exit the car while they hunted down Danny Markell. And he's the one who got out and shot Danny Markell in cold blood.
Well, he
left like nothing had ever happened.
Paid to do it.
Along the way, made many stops, including getting out to hide the murder weapon.
Go to the ATM.
And then went on with his life.
Right, because he did a job.
The killer is getting the same sentence that the lesser participant,
as the person who hired him,
the state is suggesting, get as well. Life in prison on count 1, followed by 30 years for the conspiracy and solicitation. Luis Rivera, I've already told you what his role was. Catherine McBanawa got the information from Charlie Adelson according to the evidence, and at his request.
Ma'am, what logic applies? Oh, maybe that's where we're at. When you're arguing that if you hire someone to commit a murder, you should just get a lighter sentence. What kind of behavior is that incentivizing? Like, if you're the gunman, you should get more time than the person who hired you to do the thing. I think when the law says, hey, if you do the thing, crime. If you hired someone to do the thing, crime. You can't just hide behind the conspiracy, the train cars, the money. You can't incentivize, hey, just find someone else to do it and you'll be fine. No, ma'am.
Obtain someone, Sigfredo Garcia, to do
not
the
how it
killing.
works.
She is the one who coordinated between Charlie Adelson and Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera. Although she testified that she didn't know Luis Rivera was involved until after it was over, the evidence that the state submitted clearly contradicts that. She was communicating with Luis Rivera before closely to the homicide, and then shortly thereafter, she's the one that spoke to him.
The cold calculation of knowing Dan Markel's vehicle make, model, license plate, of knowing his routine, of knowing when he was traveling, is chilling behavior. Chilling behavior.
She was sentenced on the first-degree murder to
This is
life
Catherine
in
McBanawan.
prison, and on the solicitation and conspiracy, she was sentenced to an additional 30 years. It was run consecutive. Again, the same sentence that they're asking.
I'm still blown away that we learned in this trial that Catherine McBanawan was offered full immunity and didn't take it and got life plus 30. Offered full immunity. Wild to me. Catherine McBanawan didn't have a one-way ticket, though. I mean, if we could talk about that when we get to questions, but but I paid them to do it isn't a defense. In fact, it's a crime.
For on Mrs. Adelson is the sentence that this woman who heard the request for a homicide, found the person to commit the homicide, stayed in communication with both of the individuals who are responsible for killing Danny Markel, followed up with them and provided payment to them, and then took payment back from them for her to keep for herself. She was also paid in this. She participated,
in
knew
more
it was
ways than
happening.
one.
They had proof that she knew it was happening. That was submitted to the court. All of that evidence clearly distinguishable from the conduct that they presented in evidence about what Donna Adelson did.
Being in it for money, it doesn't make it better, but it does make it different, counsel. But okay, keep doing your job.
Charlie Adelson, according to the testimony in this trial and his own,
but Your Honor,
Charlie Adelson
they're big
wanted
bad.
Danny Markel dead. So on his close...
No. The testimony in this trial proved that Charlie Adelson, among all of the things I could call him, and I will try to adhere to my own rules, Charlie Adelson was into girls and go-karts and man-childing around with money and lifestyle. And that his mother was impeding on the happy-go-luckiness and needed him to fix a problem. And Charlie was going to just take care of that for his mom. I don't know when the man ever worked, based on everything we've seen in this case, but Charlie didn't come across as someone who had a whole bunch of rage towards his sister's ex. Among all of the things we heard from Charlie, wannabe G, talking real tough at a restaurant when the FBI is listening, but there's actually no one in front of him other than Catherine McBanawan. Okay, sure. Charlie's the one with the animus towards Dan. Did we see any evidence that Charlie had any animus towards Dan Markel? The only evidence we saw was that Charlie wanted to make mommy happy. Charlie isn't the one with the rage towards Dan. The therapist can have a whole exploration of the relationship of Charlie and Donna and get into the Shakespearean qualities of it. I don't have the bandwidth to do that today, ma'am, but alas, you are still talking. Charlie just wanted to tell his sister what to do, and his mom knew that he would. And he loved that role in the family. Loved it. I can make my sister do whatever I want. Oh, she's going to buy a house? No, she's not. I can talk her out of buying a house because I know better. And I also need to remind my sister that she's too old to be this picky about men. Charlie, we'll save a different day for you.
Or very first date with Catherine McBanawan, he asks her out in public at Halloween, some Halloween function, hey, do you know anybody who could get somebody killed?
It was not their first fucking date, Jackie. Where were you? Were you here? Did you watch this trial? It wasn't their first date.
Very first date with Catherine McBown.
Lies. First date conversation. Hey, do you know anybody that could kill someone? Ma'am.
Charlie Adelson. According to the testimony in this trial and his own, Charlie Adelson wanted Danny Markell dead.
Wrong.
So on his close or very first date with Catherine McBown, he asks her out in public at Halloween, some Halloween function, hey, do you know anybody who could get somebody killed? According to her testimony, she followed through with that.
He said
with
because
Charlie
of my
Adelson,
mom.
Never with Donna Adelson, never communicated with her in any way about this. She worked then, if that's what happened and that's what's been testified to, she worked with Charlie Adelson from October of 2013 until Danny Markell was brutally killed in July of 2014. That entire period, and there's evidence, she admitted to most of it, to her conduct, and there's evidence that was presented in this trial and Charlie's that that's what happened. They made this plan, and that his stapled money was used to pay the killers in this case some $130,000 in cash that was divided up amongst Sigfredo Garcia. Sorry, my mouth is getting dry. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Okay. Some of you are asking, can the prosecution object? There's no point.
Up between
There's no need for the prosecution to object. The judge knows what it is. I am just clarifying the record because it's breaking my brain, but the prosecution doesn't need to object. The court knows what it is. The defense is arguing that Donna should be treated differently than the other defendants because they're all more culpable. That's the argument here. They all did big bad things. Donna, if the court believes Donna did anything, it was itty bitty things. Donna did the itty bitty things. Charlie's the problem.
Sigfredo Garcia, Catherine McBown, and Luis Rivera. She then stayed in contact with Charlie Adelson. She convinced Charlie Adelson to get paychecks written to her, and she received those paychecks each time from Charlie Adelson. For what Catherine McBown did and what Charlie Adelson did, the evidence in this case shows it went far beyond what the state's evidence showed that Donna did, up to and including the time that Danny was killed. So again, if you're going to rate the level of culpability in this case and consider Mrs. Adelson's conduct as compared to those, they're asking that she get the same sentence as both of the people who killed, well, one person that did the killing, Sigfredo,
as everyone.
A far more extensive sentence than Luis Rivera, who participated in the killing himself and only got 7 years. The same as Catherine McBown, that apparently worked on this, according to the evidence, for many, many months and stayed involved even after that. Charlie Adelson is the only one who got a higher sentence. His sentence was life on count 1.
Plus 30.
The homicide, followed by 30 years on count 2 and another
Everyone's
30 years on count 3.
sidestepping the
so everything being run consecutively.
script.
The evidence that the state has presented is that Charlie Adelson is the one who masterminded this. That's what they've shown. Even though they said Catherine McBown wasn't her trial, if there's somebody who started this, according to the evidence, it's Charlie Adelson, not Donna Adelson.
Charlie started it.
All the work being done was Charlie Adelson. All the money that was paid was Charlie Adelson's money. Mrs. Adelson, according to the state's evidence, did not do any of that. Again, they had hundreds of thousands of dollars, or hundreds of thousands of emails. Never one in all of those emails that we all had to go through did Mrs. Adelson ever suggest any harm to Danny Markell in any way.
And on all of the recorded calls, she kept saying that we should not be talking about this on the phone. Right? She kept saying she shouldn't talk about it on the phone. And do you know what's even more nefarious about this? I know it's nefarious, Chad. I couldn't help myself. Is that Donna was the first one in contact with the lawyer that Charlie ultimately ended up working with. It was Donna's lawyer. So when Charlie's appellate lawyers got this case, they looked at it and said, you know what? This was a conflict before Charlie even went to trial. Donna's lawyers. So do you think Donna's lawyers were going to tell Charlie his best defense was to throw Donna under the bus? But then Donna's going to sit up here with the new lawyers and throw Charlie under the bus. Charlie should have had lawyers that were not connected to his mother at all. And I imagine their defense would have been a whole lot different. But the appellate lawyers clocked it. So if we want to talk about who's in control of this entire situation, I have some questions about whether Charlie was the one in control of all of this.
I understand the verdict, and she has a right to take an appeal, and that's what she'll do. But the evidence in what was argued is very far different in theory than what was actually presented to this jury. And I'm requesting that Your Honor, in determining a sentence on counts 2 and 3, take into consideration
sentence her to what? What do you want him to do?
The amount of activity that everyone engaged in this case was far, far beyond what was alleged against Mrs. Adelson.
So what do you want?
They just didn't come up with the proof for that. They did prove to a jury that she was involved, but that proof and the actual evidence was very limited to the conduct that they say that
what
she
sentence?
Engaged in that resulted in Mr. Markel's death. I do want to remark, if I may, just briefly on the issue of remorse.
What sentence are you asking for?
Mrs. Adelson maintains her innocence, and as she has a lawful right to do, will seek an appeal. She may not get another trial.
Okay, ma'am.
There may or may not be parts of the finding of the jury that is reversed. May not. They can do that on, the appellate court can do that on 1, 2, or 3 counts.
We know how appeals work.
There are lots of options that the appellate court has.
Yeah, no
shit.
The
reason I say that is this. Mrs. Adelson, maintaining her innocence, could not have shown more remorse for the killing of Danny Markel. And in her statement, although some of it I know was bothersome to the court, in her statement...
Counsel, do you believe what you're saying? Bothersome to the court? It was... okay, counsel.
I hope you heard.
I wouldn't say bothersome to the court.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay.
It was inappropriate statement, and it had nothing to do with character. Bothersome to the court.
For the killing of Danny Markel.
She did not show remorse. Where's the remorse?
Although some of it I know was bothersome to the court, in her statement, I hope you heard.
I wouldn't say bothersome to the court.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. I misread then. I apologize based on your comments. One of the things she said in her statement, after most of her statement being about the horrible thing that happened to Danny Markel,
no, it wasn't.
was that the people who were responsible for it were in prison. That's a pretty big statement considering what the state believes Mrs. Adelson's position is with respect to the others who've been prosecuted, convicted, and are serving sentences in the Florida Department of Corrections. I also want to say this. The defense's position in this case, from start to finish, has always been, on behalf of Mrs. Adelson, beyond respectful to the victim in this case, Danny Markel. He should not be lost.
Ma'am, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. It's time to stop. Did you hear what Donna and her husband said? You were sitting in court. Advocating for your client and being completely out of touch with what happened in court today are not the same thing.
In this case, and I said that in my opening statement.
Yeah, it was
we
weird.
presented evidence about a wonderful man he was. He did not deserve for this to happen. The Markells gave their statements at the conclusion of the verdict that was issued by the jury. And I listened to every single word. And every single word that they said came out of the terrible grief from the loss of their son and the feelings that they have developed.
Really? Really? Because Harvey Adelson got up in court and said that the Markel family was lying to the court. And now you are sitting here saying they are too grief-stricken to know what they're saying? It's not respectful. It's appalling.
Over the course of this 11 years in prosecuting these various people and additional information that has been given to them, every word they had every right to say. The feelings that they had are exactly what they should have. What happened to Danny Markel, as Donna Adelson has said in her statement, could not have been more horrific. He was treated like an animal, completely unaware that there was any kind of problem, that he would have any kind of physical altercation with anybody. I'm positive the furthest thing from his mind that day was that someone was going to kill him in his garage at his home. He did not deserve what he got. It's been very clear in the prior prosecutions and what was represented.
Can you just explain why your client was having people in custody writing scripts for how they were going to testify that Catherine McBanawa told them that Charlie Adelson was a stupid fool or a silly fool or that fool? Can you explain that part? She maintains her innocence, but she wants those in custody to lie for her. You know, the way innocent people do. Ma'am.
Presented in Mrs. Adelson's trial about the conduct of these other individuals, they do deserve to be where they are. They do. Their conduct is unimaginable to me, that human beings would engage in that kind of conduct to bring a man, an innocent man, a well-respected man, an amazing father, to take him away from his mother, his father, his sister, most importantly, his children.
Don't murder is at the top of like all of the things. Like we all agree on don't murder. But trying to distance your client from this murder is not working at all.
That was horrific. I understand why those sentences were imposed. Not for Mr. Rivera, but for the ones that were tried and convicted.
I understand why Rivera got the sentence he got.
In this case, Judge, based on the evidence that was presented, the defense is going to ask on counts 2 and 3.
Oh, thank God, here we are.
That you sentence Mrs. Adelson to 3 years in the Florida Department of Corrections.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. You want a downward departure from 30 to 3? That's why you didn't say it earlier. 3. You would like a 3-year sentence on solicitation and conspiracy. Okay, Your Honor, just erase the 0. Right. Okay. So what? You want essentially time served on that then?
Counts 2 and 3 to run concurrently. My understanding in the court, the clerk can tell me if I'm wrong, but my understanding
you want
is
time
Mrs.
served.
Adelson has 701 days credit time served.
Right.
That's what we calculated.
She essentially wants time served.
I'll stipulate to 701, Your Honor.
Very well.
Anything more on counts 2 and 3, Judge? First of all, in order for...
Y'all, she wants time served on count 2 and 3. There's no discretion on count 1. I think the court's going to give her life plus 30, but we'll see. I think she's going to get life plus 30 just like everybody else. Hey, Donna, You're just like everyone else. Everyone else. And you're going to get the same sentence, I think, as everyone else. But let's see. She's not getting 3. That's for sure.
To assist Mrs. Adelson, she's going to have to be successful on count 1 on appeal. If she is, anything more than that period of time is going to basically be a death sentence for Mrs. Adelson. She is soon to be 76 years old. Her health has gotten worse while incarcerated, as anyone would probably expect. Her husband is 81 years old. Compared...
I don't know if her age is a proper consideration.
3 years compared to the man who participated in the killing getting 7 years, I believe is a just and
He didn't get
reasonable
7. He got
sentence for
19
Mrs.
concurrent.
Adelson.
It's not the same.
We are also going to ask, Your Honor, after imposing sentence, I know it's nothing but a recommendation, but we would ask if you make a recommendation to the Florida Department of Corrections that Mrs. Adelson be placed as close to Miami as possible, where her husband...
Your Honor, just for me, I'm just curious, which is probably petty as fuck of me, but what other states does Florida have compacts with? Like Wyoming or Alaska, or I'm curious. They want her to be close to home. I don't know if this is the defendant that gets to picky choosy where she's housed. She's not going to love prison. Also, though her age should not be a consideration as to her sentence, her age will be a consideration as to where they can appropriately house her and have the medical facilities to take care of her. That's going to be a bigger consideration for the Department of Corrections than she wants to be close to her family. It's just going to have to be where they can take care of her health. And I wouldn't be surprised, because a lot of you are saying, will she end up with Sarah Boone? She may very well end up housed in the same prison as Sarah Boone. And the two of them can just talk at each other day after day after day about how wronged they've been by the system. Or their personalities are so similar that they will fucking hate each other, and they will rub each other quite the wrong way. One of those two things, you know?
Husband resides so that she can have visitation. I understand we don't have any control over
Close to family is not
we would appreciate that recommendation.
their biggest
May I have
concern
just one
here.
moment, please?
Go ahead.
All right, counsel's going to go see if there's anything else to say.
That judge, I would ask that Ms. Adelson not be housed with Ms. McBanow, or at least have a separation, if you could recommend that. I know Ms. McBanow is currently at Lowell CI.
Yes, Judge.
I would also think that her not being with Miss McBanow is a good call. But I do think that her age will come into play with medical access at the prison, so that they have adequate access to take care of someone who is going to have medical need.
Thank you for that, Ms. Kappelman. I wanted to raise that issue because we did check into that. Judge, I contacted the Florida Department of Corrections. They did indicate that they would be able to keep them separate, but that doesn't necessarily mean that folks who are familiar with and friendly with Mrs. McBanow wouldn't be where Mrs. Adelson would be. So we are concerned about that, about her being placed at that facility. I didn't know it before, but the reception center for the women actually keep inmates there. So that, I know that's a possibility, but again, that's in Ocala, and we're respectfully requesting that she be placed closer to Miami. Thank you.
Going to review the last case the defense has presented for downward departure. Ms. Kappelman, you had something else?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Review the cases for downward departure, or in support of downward departure, the defense has argued.
The court's asking for cases supporting the downward departure. The downward departure is what the PSI recommendation is, and going below that, the maximum is the 30. And the judge is going to continue to hear the defense out as he has. I'm going to zoom as they are looking at that case law. Again, the defense submitted the sentencing letters and the notice of the letters being submitted, but the defense did not submit a sentencing memorandum with this case law, so the judge is doing it in real time. Hence the long pauses of the court looking over the defense's submission. Does the court have to do that? No. Is the court going to do that? Yes. The court has been really fair here. So, all right, let's continue zooming until we are back on the record. There we go. With the court's sentencing, which should be next. I'm sure he'll check in on the case law with the defense and then move forward to what he has to say.
Downward departure.
Which is what I am most interested in at this point, because today's already been wild.
Having reviewed the cases presented by the defense concerning the downward departure, also as well the argument that has been presented, the court has reviewed its notes of the trial and will rule on the issue of downward departure at this.
All right. Now we are getting to the court issuing the sentence. So the court is going to rule on the issue of downward departure now and then should proceed to sentencing. All right. Which is probably going to be what? Life plus 30. Like all the other defendants. Just like everybody else.
Point. Florida Supreme Court has a two-part test concerning whether a downward departure should be granted or could be granted by the trial court. The first is whether the trial court can impose a downward departure sentence based on a valid legal ground proven by a preponderance of the evidence. The second step is whether the trial court decides whether it should impose the downward departure based on the totality of the circumstances.
Can and should.
As to both the non-statutory grounds that have been argued and the grounds contained within section 921.0026, subsection 2, subsection B, in reviewing the trial court's notes, what has been argued by both the defense and also as well the court's relying on the record itself, court will find that there is a ground for non-statutory downward departure.
Interesting.
But it declines to exercise its discretion.
It's even better. It's even better. It's even better. I find that there are reasons for a downward departure. I could do that, but I will not. I am disinclined to acquiesce to your request. Yes, the two-part test is can the court downward depart, and will the court downward depart? And the court said, yes, I can. But no, I'm not gonna. Yes, I could, but I won't.
Court will find that there is a ground for non-statutory downward departure, but it declines to exercise its discretion. As to the statutory ground, I will find that both the defendant was an accomplice to the offense and a relative minor participant in the criminal conduct. We'll find that has not been proven, but in addition to, the court would still decline to exercise its discretion. As to the sentence in this matter, Ms. Adelson, please rise.
Please stand to be sentenced. Don't flop over when he sentences you.
Level of planning and coordination to bring the murder of...
Oh, he's going to tell her what he thinks. Not just, I sentence you to this, but let me tell you what. All right, Your Honor, can't wait to hear it.
Level of planning and coordination to bring the murder of Professor Markell to fruition was significant in this case. These were not crimes of chance or opportunity, and these crimes also required you to conspire with your son and others.
You
certainly can choose to deny your involvement and maintain innocence. The court finds the evidence in this case is clear. You will be sentenced accordingly this afternoon. The jury has found you guilty on charges of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation to commit first-degree murder, and the court previously adjudicated you guilty as to these same charges
we see you shaking
on
your head.
September 4th of this year. On count 1 of the indictment
Life.
for first-degree murder, you are hereby sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole or release pursuant to sections 782.04 and 775.082 sub 1 sub a Florida statutes. On count 2 of the indictment,
I guess
conspiracy
30.
to commit first-degree murder, you are hereby sentenced to 30 years in the Department of Corrections.
It's the max.
That will run consecutive to count 1.
consecutive.
The court will also sentence you to 30 years in the Department of Corrections on count 3. Counts 2 and 3 are to run concurrent with each other, but consecutive to count 1. As to the fees and costs, the clerk can please announce those at this time.
Fees and costs.
$2,100 as a fine pursuant to section 775.083, $105 as the 5% surcharge required by section 938.04, $20 as the court cost pursuant to section 938.06, Crime Stop with Trust Fund, $3 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.01 subsection 1, Criminal Justice Trust Fund, $50 pursuant to section 938.03, Crimes Compensation Trust Fund, $225 pursuant to section 938.05, Local Government Criminal Justice Trust Fund, $2 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.15, County Criminal Justice Education, $50 as a court cost pursuant to section 775.083, subsection 2, County Crime Prevention, $65 as a court cost pursuant to section 939.185, County Additional Court Costs, and $3 as a court cost pursuant to section 938.19, Teen Court Assessment.
Is there any lawful objection by the defense to these assessments?
No, Your Honor.
They will be assessed at this time. The cost of prosecution, the court will reserve jurisdiction on to determine for 60 days. If a hearing needs to take place concerning this matter,
that's
that
gonna
will take
happen.
place at a future time.
I'm sure that's
As
going
the
to happen.
defense's request for the court to make a recommendation to the Department of Corrections to place Mrs. Adelson in a facility near Miami-Dade County, I have no problem making this recommendation.
Okay.
The Department of Corrections will have the final say because this is an administrative matter. I will also recommend to the department that Mrs. Adelson is not to be placed in any unit or facility that would also house Catherine McVanawa. The court did previously award to the state, based on the September 17th, 2024 continuance of the trial, costs that were related to that.
Now we get into some of the other costs because the defense continued and there are costs to the defense. Remember earlier in the day, for those of you who tuned in midway through, no shade, but the prosecution is asking for over $700,000 for cost of prosecution. So the court is starting to get into who is apportioned cost based on the continuance. The court has reserved the issue of the $700,000. That's going to be decided later. And they may have a hearing on that. If there's a hearing on that, we will cover it because I'm curious to see what their restitution hearing looks like on the cost of prosecution. But they are reserving that. Today, they are talking about the cost to which side based on the continuances, which is separate than the cost of prosecution. So that's what the court is starting to talk about now. That's in addition to the cost of prosecution and restitution.
Ms. Kappelman, part of what you're seeking to pursue, is that included within that, or is that a separate number?
Are you speaking of the costs that were ordered in Charlie Adelson's trial?
No, in this
No.
trial for the continuances.
The day Daniel Rashbaum withdrew from the case and the trial had to be continued.
Okay.
All costs related to moving witnesses and other matters.
Yes, sir. I don't know the answer to that, but I'll make sure
It's separated
they're
out.
only in there once.
Very well. The defendant is to be fingerprinted, 30 days to appeal. Please file the appeal promptly.
Donna, may I approach the clerk? We have put I had written on the letters that I had, so we put a
The clerk's like, please don't.
composite together, and I've shown it to Mrs. Kaufman, who has no objection. I can approach.
Please place the sticker on them so that way they can be admitted.
No objection.
We are in recess.
I'm going to leave this on while they are escorting Donna out. She has composed herself after she said what she wanted to say and is being walked out of the courtroom. Yeah, so we are, it looks like they're going to fingerprint her in the courtroom before she is transferred into prison custody from local custody. Different world for Donna. I'm sure she's heard some about it from Charlie. I imagine her phone calls for the next few weeks are going to be full of her being furious at the perceived injustice of the entire thing. So I'm leaving this on while she is getting fingerprinted, and they will, probably not this evening, but they will start doing the processing to move her into intake for prison custody from local county custody, which is where she has been. So we will answer some of those questions after we are done with this court feed. Her attorney just walked up to her, and Zellman, and is speaking with her. Zellman, don't get her sick, sir. Sir, what the last thing she needs is to get whatever you've got in the courtroom, because he's all in there. Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm sick. Like, just what you don't need is for her to get sick now, Mr. Zellman. So they are going to work on transporting Donna, I'm sure, once she's transported, because it will be on all of the websites that we'll see where she gets housed. It could change down the road, but she will get assigned to housing. Let's see if I don't see anything else in this other than them clearing out the courtroom. So it looks like the lead investigator was there in court, and they are clearing out. Harvey's talking to the defense team. So, I don't know who else Harvey's talking to. Somebody in the courtroom before he walks out. Harvey had quite a lot to say, didn't he? And it looks like we are back to the seal of the state. So, with all of that, we are done with the sentencing here. Let me make sure there's nothing else on this feed. I don't see anything else. Miguelina, I don't know if we'll see anything from Georgia Kappelman this evening. I wouldn't suspect that we would, but if we do, we can take a look for that. So we have reached the end of the unexpected, somewhat, sentencing of Donna Adelson. Why do I say unexpected? We knew what the sentence was going to be. It was never a question of what would she get sentenced to. The question here, let me just move this screen so something doesn't start auto playing. The question here was never, what is Donna getting sentenced to for me? Because on count one, the murder count that she was convicted of, the sentencing is statutory. It is prescribed. It's life. No parole, no nothing, life, period. As to counts 2 and 3, there's some discretion, but all the other co-defendants had gotten sentenced to the maximum, which is life. And I wouldn't have guessed that the judge was going to do anything other than sentence all the defendants the same, which is life plus 30 years. And that's what we saw Donna ultimately get sentenced to. But it wasn't really the destination that we were focused on today. It was the journey. And what a journey it was. First of all, Harvey Adelson had a whole lot to say. Man was pissed and wanted the court to hear it. So the defendants friends and family gave, well, essentially victim impact statements, because it seems that they see themselves as victims of the court, the system, the jurors, the media, and Regina George. So the defendants did not give character statements for Donna and on behalf of Donna. Those that spoke gave statements about how unfair this is, how Donna is innocent, what a tragedy this was to Dan Markel, which is really the place where we all agree that, yes, this should never have happened. It's a murder for hire conspiracy. The defendants could have opted to resolve their differences in another way. A variety of, there is a lot of other ways. But what they chose to do in court today was, well, as to Harvey Adelson, accuse the Markel family of lying, as to defense counsel downplay the Markel family's impact statements that were made after the conviction, and as to Donna, to blame the court, to blame the jury, to give the judge her interpretation of the law, to tell him that there was no evidence that she did this and that she maintains her innocence. But she had a lot more to say than simply, I maintain my innocence. And at points, though she was shaking, it didn't seem with sobs to me. It seemed that she was shaking with anger. And you saw that anger come through at numerous points in her statement that didn't go to character. And I have never seen a judge have to interrupt character statements as much as Judge Everett interrupted these defense statements, because they were not character statements. They were relitigation of the case, of the fact that the motion to change venue wasn't granted, of the fact that the media and the podcast have been talking about this case, and that this isn't what the law is for, and that Donna is a victim of the system versus everyone in this case being a victim of Donna. Because if we look at who's in prison in this case, and Donna said everyone should be in prison except for me. She didn't even say Charlie shouldn't be. And her attorney took a moment to throw Charlie under the bus too. But Donna said everyone should be in prison except for me. Well, though the defense tried to argue that it was Charlie Adelson's hate towards his former brother-in-law, that's not what the evidence in this case showed. This case didn't show that Charlie Adelson had any strong feelings towards Dan Markel one way or the other. He had some pretty strong feelings about his sister's love life. We saw and heard those calls, but we didn't hear that it was Charlie's anger towards Dan Markel that pushed this case forward. In this trial against Donna Adelson, we saw a lot of evidence that it was Donna's frustration that she was taking to Charlie to solve. And that Charlie went full, yeah, I got a guy. Donna still does not see the evidence the way the jury saw it. And I'm sure we will see all the arguments that were brought up today brought up again in an appeal. And while Donna may appeal, I don't think that's going to go very far. There were a lot of parts of today that were distasteful, is really a mild way to put it, that were difficult to listen to. But it really did give insight into how Donna sees all of this and how she sees herself in all of this. And so we get some more insight into Donna and to her friends that spoke. They could never believe this is something that she could do. But from the emails, from the calls with Charlie, and from the other evidence we've seen in this trial, is this something that you think Donna is capable of doing? Because I think the state made a compelling argument that Donna behind closed doors and Donna in front of her friends and family are not quite the same, because the carefully curated public perception of Donna and what she would do to protect that are the things that we saw play out today. And we saw how angry Donna was I can't believe we saw Harvey Adelson call the judge biased to his face. Wild. Absolutely wild. Donna referred to herself as a grandma and talked about how wonderful Dan Markel was. That's not the side of Donna that we saw in her emails, in her text messages, in her attempts to manipulate her daughter, and in those scripts, letters, and promises made to those she was in custody with to try to get them to testify on her behalf. That was Donna trying to get everyone around her to do what she wanted. And that is really the heart of the prosecution's case, that Donna was going to use the people around her to whatever end to get what she wanted. And that's really more of what we saw in court, that Donna was furious that no one would listen to her saying, but I didn't do it. Did she think that everyone was just going to look at her and go, oh, yeah, no, we agree with you? Because that's not what happened. And I would love to say that this is case closed, but we're going to see a lot of an appeal. My biggest question is it going to be the same attorneys on her appeal or different attorneys? I'm guessing different attorneys. Different attorneys on appeal. And then the question that you all want to ask is, well, what about Wendy? We're going to have to wait and see what about Wendy, because what we saw from the prosecution in this case and the building blocks that the prosecution has brought, I'm curious if there are more blocks that we will see, or if Donna was truly kind of the last domino in all of this. It's really going to depend. And the prosecution, as they should be, has been very, very close to the vest on how they feel about going after Wendy Adelson. But after the conviction, we did see the lead prosecutor in this case, Georgia Kappelman, say that one of the things she thinks about in this case, and any prosecutor would, or one would hope any prosecutor would, is that the more people that keep getting prosecuted, the more that Dan Markel's sons lose. Their father was murdered. Their uncle and their grandmother have been convicted of that murder. What happens if the state chooses to prosecute Wendy too? It might be the just thing. It might be the thing they do next, but there is still a cost to it. And I think seeing Georgia Kappelman share that she thinks about that, it doesn't surprise me. However, the prosecution's job is to get justice for Dan Markel. And if that means prosecuting Wendy, then that's what they're going to do, even if it's with a heavy heart about the damage that continues to be done to Dan Markel's kids. Because you can't let people participate in, well, murder for hire and not have consequences just because they killed the other parent. That's not how that works. None of this had to happen. There were a lot of choices that were made. And Donna right now is going to be paying for those choices, even though she doesn't see it that way. And she may never. Donna may never come face to face with her role in all of this. But she is going to be in prison for the rest of her life because of her decisions and her role in all of this. And through all the cases we've watched, this is not a case where I walk away from watching the evidence and still have questions. The questions I have nothing to do with the evidence presented in court. I want to know more. Tell me more about the text messages with Harvey, the emails with Harvey. I guess the thing I really want to know is the thing we're never going to know. What was that conversation on the pool deck with Donna and Charlie and Harvey when Harvey was so distraught that he couldn't go to work the next day, where Harvey was so upset that he couldn't function. Is that the day that they brought Harvey in on what had happened? Is that the day that Harvey found out the weight of everything and that the FBI and or the IRS and or someone else was going after them? That is something I still have questions about. We're probably not going to know because they knew at that point somewhat that they were being followed and listened to. So they tried to get themselves outside, away from everyone, where if somebody was listening to them or recording them, they could see it. Because when Charlie and Harvey went out to dinner, there was that disastrous sting operation with the entire like messenger bag put up on a sushi bar. Like literally, who does that? And that's when Charlie was like, "Oh, this isn't going to work." Yeah, that was bad times with the FBI right there. That was the FBI. That was not well done. So, is that when Harvey found out? And if so, you might not see a prosecution for Harvey. If that's when Harvey found out, you might not see more with regard to Harvey Adelson. But what will we see for Wendy? I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I knew everything that the prosecution had. I wish I knew what all the rest of the emails and the text messages and the bank accounts were. Because there's a lot of really sussy stuff with Wendy. All of a sudden, Wendy's not buying the house that she really wanted to buy. All of a sudden, Wendy's changing her pattern of life. All of a sudden, Wendy has Best Buy coming to fix the TV that obviously couldn't be fixed. All of a sudden, Wendy's asking fucking Jeff, "Hey, you still going out of town? What way are you driving? Like, I don't want to date you anymore. Let's go to Pilates and then, I'm sorry, yoga. Let's go to yoga and then let me ask about you going out of town and which way you're driving." For real. I got a lot of questions. So we're going to have to just wait and see. Because I don't know if the prosecutors are done. And if the prosecutors were done, would they tell anyone that? Probably not. If you're the prosecutors and you're not sure if you're going to, there's no statute of limitations on murder. But if you're the prosecutors, would you want Wendy to know that you weren't going to prosecute her, even if you might choose not to file charges at this point? Or would you want her to constantly worry? Because you never know what's going to be on the next jail call. Because isn't that why we're here with Donna? That trip to Vietnam and the jail calls that were recorded. That was really the final straw that brought around the prosecution of Donna Adelson. What's going to be on those phones next? Because prosecutors are going to be listening. All right, law nerds, let's get... I made that impossible for the editors to cut for our case briefs. Jordan, I'm sorry. I really did step on that. I apologize. We can do it. Just ignore this. This is for post. We know that prosecutors are going to be listening. I mean, wouldn't you? I would. All right, now let's get to questions. I went way too fast into let's get to questions. Terrible of me. Okay. Oh, Miguelina, thank you. Production has said, a lot of you are asking how old the boys are. They are young teenagers now. All right. We're almost done with the fizzy water. We're almost done with the fizzy water, but a lot of you asked what I was drinking out of. It's the koozie. It's the drink sleeve, the Lawnard drink sleeves that are up in the Lawnard shop. That's what I was drinking out of. But apparently Zellman gave some really quick statements after court. So, I mean, let's go see what he has to say. I mean, I bet we can guess what he has to say. You can guess and I can guess. What's Zellman going to say? Oh, well, she maintains her innocence. I mean, you know, but we should go look anyway, shouldn't we? Let's go look and see what Zellman had to say, because I'm curious too. So are you. Thank you, team and mods, for grabbing that. I appreciate it. Let's go grab after court and take a real quick look at the attorneys walking out of the courtroom and see what happens. I have no idea what the volume seemed loud when I just initially pulled this up. So let's take a look, shall we? Let's do it. Thanks, Team Baker. Appreciate it. Let's take a look at these attorneys coming out of the courthouse or courtroom, shall we? Let's go see. I mean, at least we know that the volume has gained up. Oh, what in the Blair Witch? There we go. I've seen attorneys use a lot of different wheelie devices and contraptions to bring their shit to court. Never have I seen like the full, like, flat wheel dolly. That's funny. It's okay. I mean,
Not right now. We're going to issue a press release. Okay. Thanks.
Can you give a statement? We're going to issue a press release. They're going to keep asking you things anyway.
No, we will be issuing a press release. We'll try and get that out in the next 24 hours.
I hear the elevator.
Anything about your thoughts on which?
See, I would be terrible at being media like this. I could never. Like, we're going to give a press release. I could never keep asking questions. It'd be like, no, PSI was done. No more questions. And they're going to be like, no, we have more questions. So for all of you that are like, the elevator binging so loud, yeah, it is. They're going to keep asking. Let's see if he says anything else.
Unfortunately, it was not unexpected.
Saved by the elevator. He's like the Homer Simpson backing into the bushes meme. He's like, just backing up into the bushes. Unfortunately, not unexpected. We knew it. You're lawyers. She's going to get the same sentence as everybody else. But he does look a bit under the weather. But he said it wasn't unexpected. Yeah, they knew this is what the sentence was going to be.
Your thoughts on what just transpired? Unfortunately, it was not unexpected.
Wait till the doors just dramatically close.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, it was not unexpected. One more time. Zellman into the elevator. Any thoughts on what just happened?
Tell us anything about your thoughts on what just transpired?
Sorry, your thoughts on what just transpired. Unfortunately, it was not unexpected, but him backing into the elevator is the magic of this thing. Saved.
Fortunately, it was not unexpected.
Saved by the elevator. Whoop. All right, well, I'm going to zoom this a little bit to see if they try to catch him or any of the other attorneys. Him backing into the elevator, like, I feel that. I just feel that. He's like, get me out of here. I'm sick. I can't, just let me go. Let's see if any of the other attorneys come out. We'll just zoom real quick. And then replay crew, you'll be super glad when we timestamp it down below. Let's just see what happens. Why not? We got a minute. What time is it? Oh, we've got a minute. We've got time. Oh, Court TV are the only other people in the courtroom. They must have been operating the pool camera then. So the media is waiting for anyone else to come out of the courtroom, and it's only the Court TV folks that are operating the cameras that are still in the courtroom, because I imagine they're pulling cables at this point, trying to break everything down and get it out of the courtroom. So we'll see if anybody's downstairs or if they go downstairs. Sorry, that was me wiggling my back.
Cappleman, you said Cappleman already left.
The sheriffs are saying Kappelman already left. Let's see.
He's gonna find out if he's checking right now if she's gonna do this.
Oh, God, that elevator is... You know, I can't complain. I hate it when elevators are too quiet and then you don't know that they're there and then you're like, wait, what? I mean, you're not going to miss that one. It sounds like they're trying to figure out if Georgia Kappelman is still around. Okay, I am not going to watch them walk. We're gonna zoom. That's got to be the DA's office then, right? The doors to the DA's office. Let's go knock and see if... Excuse me? Is Georgia home? This is wild to me. But then again, a lot of the courthouses I worked in, you could not film in the hallways. You could film in the courtrooms with permission. You could not film anything in the hallways. And you definitely couldn't roll a camera up to the DA's office. And then there were designated press locations, and that was it. So this would never happen. And there were times, because we also had like weddings would happen at our courthouse. So if people went to the clerk's office and literally got married at the courthouse, people would come out of the courtroom where they had gotten married, and like friends and family would want to record them like coming out of the courtroom, and the sheriffs would be like, we have to remind you that there's no recording in the hallway. Please don't record in the hallway. It was always such a thing because, you know, those are moments that people want to record. So why, like, just cruising up to the district attorney's office with a camera is wild to me. Let's see. They're standing outside. At least they're not like wiggling. They're just media talking amongst themselves. I imagine we're not going to see anyone come out the doors. I saw people though, so we're going to zoom and because I saw people. Let's see. It's maybe just the media talking to themselves. Maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see. It looks like everyone is leaving, including the media. Unless this was earlier. Well, this might have been everyone leaving earlier. All right, well, I guess that's everyone exiting the courtroom. But again, wild to me that you can actually record people standing outside the courtroom. All right, so let's get to some questions, shall we? Let's get to some questions. Today was unexpected. A number of you have commented on the Halloween style. We had to decorate a little bit for spooky season. Some of these things have surprises. We will do things with the things later on. Today was not the day. Today was not the day to have like spooky, scary Halloween doing all the things while we were doing a sentencing. The sentencing, though not everyone took it seriously. It seems. I mean, we all did, but the sentencing needed its own solemnity. So let us get to questions, shall we? We should just go to questions, right? I mean, the fact around does not want to roll, I guess. Nope, not at all. All right, well, at least the media rolled earlier. It definitely doesn't want to roll now. So really, now you go? Sure. Also, yes, I know you can hear me when I'm talking to myself when it's rolling because it was just fighting with me, but it is what it is. But that was quite a sentencing, wasn't it? We are definitely professionals here, Sinister Girls. Thank you so much. We are. Elong says the boys will be adults soon. Do you think the state will charge Wendy then? I don't know. They are going to have to consider the evidence they have against Wendy, the witnesses that they have, what a trial against Wendy looks like, because there are also some defenses that Wendy might have that others don't. So we will really have to see what they decide, but I don't know if they would wait to see if the boy's age, I don't know if that will play into it as much as the evidence they have, what the trial looks like, and really taking time and space to evaluate what that trial looks like, because there are times in the emails where you can see Wendy lying to her mom to try to distance herself from her mom. And so there are a lot of different evaluations, and trying to put your brain into that space, they might just need some time to take a breath and put their brain into that space and then wait and see what that would look like, especially if they've been just focused on, I mean, they might go easiest to not as easy. So the gunman, the middleman are one thing. Charlie has easy and clear connections with the go-between. Donna's case got much stronger with the jail call, the flight, and then that fucking script in custody. That all got much stronger. But Wendy's and Donna's text messages at the end of that with, "We've all been protecting you." I wonder what will shake out in the weeks and months to come over the recorded custody calls. And they might be waiting to see what else shakes out now that Donna is in prison, because their case did get a lot better as they went. So continuing on, Triple SB said, "Please interrupt our lives tomorrow with an alert that Wendy has been arrested." I don't think that Wendy being arrested tomorrow is a realistic expectation. I think the state is going to want some time. They're also going to be working on this appeal, not these attorneys, others, but they're going to need some time. So to everyone who gifted memberships, including Teresa, thank you. We're going to do a members only live this week. I just need to look at schedule. Life continues to be unexpected, but we are going to do a members only live this week. Shay asked, can we please bring back the Facts Not Fuckery t-shirts? Facts Not Fuckery has been very much on my mind, Shay. So it has been on my mind. So I'm not saying no. It has been on my brain. Caroline B said, not a question, but wanted to say thanks for the bar study advice, EDB. I found out Friday that I passed the Tennessee bar. Caroline, a huge congratulations. Hold on. I don't get to use the claps nearly enough. So let me find the claps, because, you know, we have, do it. That's the kind of stuff we have here normally, but we do have claps. So throw it up. Congratulations, counselor. It's very exciting. It's very exciting indeed. I hope you had a great weekend. I don't know if you caught the free Posty Malone show down on Broadway. That looked like much. I don't love crowds. It looked like a lot. But congratulations and enjoy. And I'm glad the bar study advice helped. Take the boundaries you learn in bar study into practice. There have to be boundaries. There are times when it is a sprint, but not every moment is a sprint. I don't know why this light just decided to. We're going to let it go. The lights are doing whatever they want to do. We're going to let it go. Christina, thank you so much for the compliments. I love the law nerd community too. I feel like I just get to hang out with all of you. Stephen, this is a great question. Stephen said, can the prosecutor ask for $700,000 in stapled bills for the restitution? It's got to be wet. They're not going, if they get all of the $700,000, which we'll see what the court ultimately awards for cost of prosecution, it would come out of money if Donna is ever entitled to funds. Like if Harvey passed away and left all of his money to Donna, which I imagine he is changing his will if he hasn't already to leave it to Wendy. But if he left it to Donna, those are the types of things that the state can go after. If she earns money in custody, if she works, we can see. But we'll see. KK asked a question earlier in stream and said, what about Mr. Markell on Zoom and the prosecution witnesses? The prosecution said that they had a doctor, but it was the same as the documents that they submitted. So I think they submitted on the documents. And then Mr. Markell had already made his statement when he was in person in court. So he was there via Zoom so that he could listen to what was going on and hear what was going on. Everything just decided it wanted to change. Sure. Cool. Why not? I don't know. Let's try that again. I have no idea. We're wrecking the white balance. My poor camera is like, girl, what are we doing? I don't know. We're doing this. Sure. So that's why we didn't hear from Mr. Markel today. Kirsten said trying to zoom and catch up, but wow, Harvey. 10 out of 10 to wow, Harvey. Kiki in the chat said in super chat said round trip Miami to Tallahassee. If you buy in advance is currently $335. If you did that every week for 14 years, it seems to be about $243,000. That can't be right. They are looking at cost of prosecution in that restitution. But yes, I don't know why Wendy was suggesting that, or that Donna was suggesting that Dan could just commute. It seems unrealistic to just commute, you know? AIM 918 said, Emily, hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. Because yes. Hold on. I think we can. Can we just go all, we can go all Halloween-y. Hold on. We are done with needing the lights to be consistent. Let's see what we got. Because I totally screwed up everything yesterday when I was trying to, I was adjusting things because I added a different light back here and then just ADHD. ADHD things happened. It was a busy day, but we have some scene galleries that are trick-or-treaty related. It's going to absolutely screw up my white balance, but that's okay. Here, let's do that. That didn't change all that much. That's just purple and orange. Hold on. We can do a different one. Let's see. What is glowing grins? Let's try that. Oh, this is fair. Kiki in the chat said, I mean, $243,000 is way less than a life sentence. Yes, no. Could they have just gone and as to the Adelsons, couldn't they have just gone and visited their grandchildren? Yes. Yes, they could have. Yes, they could have just gone and visited their grandchildren. Yes, they could have. Yes, it's a lot easier. Yes, we are applying rationality to irrational behavior. Rational decision-making is not, he should just not exist. That's not rational decision-making. And we are trying to apply rational decision-making to this situation. But yes, couldn't you just go visit your grandkids? Yes, you could. Yes, you could. It's the same state. So yes. Ashley said, boy, it would have been an ironic full circle moment if the judge had said denied motion for relocation, though. Yeah, could you imagine Judge Everett, after all of the fuckery today, just being like, no, I'm not making a recommendation to the Department of Corrections. You get what you get and you don't get upset. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll make that recommendation. He could, you get what you get and you don't get upset would have been funny. Ashley, the face was facing today. Today, the audacity today was a lot. We learned a lot. We learned a lot about those in Donna's life. We learned a lot about how Donna sees this case. Much was learned. I know I'm not going to get through all of the super chats and member chats. Lexi is sitting there starting labor induction. Lexi, good luck for a smooth and quick and healthy and wonderful labor. Take care of yourself and Leonard baby. I hope it goes well. And I hope that if not, you can curse along with me with your favorite case. Pick the one you need to curse for and we're here. It's a whole thing. Jay has entered the chat, said, love the Halloween vibe. We are going spooky season for sure. I love it. Lady Jen said, took a break from editing my book to ride. Lady Jen, keep us posted on how the book goes. And we needed some live court. Tomorrow, though, we will be back to, well, we'll see what happens tonight. If anyone gives interviews or if there's any other interviews we need to catch up with, maybe we'll catch up with that tomorrow. I will keep you posted on schedule tomorrow. I might start a bit later since we're rolling so late tonight. It's just going to depend on kiddo stuff. We will see. But I'll keep you posted in the Law Nerd app. For those of you that are new here, A, do the YouTube subscribe-y things. But B, the Law Nerd app, we just keep you in the loop with what's going on. It's free on iOS and Android. Team Baker helped me build just an incredible app that keeps you in the loop. I also have some stuff I need to share in the lounge. Yesterday just got wild, but I have some stuff to share with you because, well, I have the whole backstory for the lounge about the article that we shared with you. If all of you are in the member spaces, I was featured in a local newspaper that I had given an interview for while we were covering this trial. I wasn't quite sure when that was going to come out. I was not sure how that was going to come out. I just kind of assumed digital, not print, because everything I do is online and hanging out with y'all. So I was a bit surprised when it was a front page of my face, but I have some backstory to share with you in the Lawnard Lounge. And those of you that saw the article, thank you. Lots of friends from the hometown were just like, oh my God, no way. I was like, it's just, we get to talk about the Law Nerds, which is always a good day when we get to talk about the Law Nerds. It was fun. So yes, we will talk about that a little bit more over in the Lawnard Lounge, and the mods have a link. That is our member area in the app. And so that is our member area in the app where we, in addition to doing the stuff we do with the members on YouTube, we have conversations, and it's more like getting to be, in the lounge with the people you want to hang out with and have chat when chat is not here chatting. Emma said, who had Harvey as the shit stirrer or the shithouser? Who knew? Harvey, Donna made Harvey out in the arrest video that we saw to just be like, who's going to make sure Harvey gets back to his car? Harvey can't do this. Harvey can't do that. And Harvey gets up there and is like, let me tell you fucking what? And I'm like, Harvey, everybody's been making you out to be like this, like just meek little man who just, Harvey doesn't know, and Harvey can't do this, and Harvey can't do that. Harvey had a whole lot of thoughts, didn't he? Harvey was fucking pissed. Natalie C., I don't think you're the only one. Natalie C. in the chat said, the way I'm suspicious of Harvey now. Harvey might just be after the fact, but we'll see. We'll see. Tozy said, so basically, no, I will not be telling the truth. I know, the unsworn statement. And then Donna being like, but Your Honor, I swear. The fucking audacity to be like, under the law, we have the right to do an unsworn statement. And then Donna in her statement being like, I swear. Believe me, I swear. Ma'am, you actually had the opportunity to give a sworn statement and you were disinclined. Miss me. Harvey. That was surprising. I'm not as surprised at Donna. Like, Donna's consistent with what we've seen. We just haven't seen much from Donna or from Harvey. So, yeah, I was more surprised because we haven't seen as much from Donna. A couple of you have asked in the chat if I've seen an interview. I'll go take a look. I haven't seen that interview. I'll go take a look and see what it is. I will go look. Ms. Principal, I hope I got that correctly said. I don't know why, but the life, nothing other than life has me cackling. It's the only option. Life, period. Life. Just life. I mean, there are some other harsher ways to say it. I'm trying to not. Also, I totally forgot it was Canadian Thanksgiving. Ali Katsia said, happy Thanksgiving to all my fellow Canadians. So to all of the Canadians in the chat, I couldn't get the lights to go on. I was flustered because, look, the way you don't need to know all of the ADHD-ness of my day, but 30 seconds. When earlier in the day, I made sure the computer and stream and everything was all set up and everything was all good to go. And so when I sat down at the computer to like press go live and my microphone wasn't connected and my lights weren't connected and everything needed to be restarted, it frazzled me a little bit. So we rolled right into it because this court starts promptly. So I tried to set everything up in advance and then it all just all of it was just like, girl, that's adorable. That's adorable. I love that you tried to do it. Sherry406 said, dang it, I bought a blank super chat. Don't know what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out. Love EDB. I'm currently rewatching the trials I watched before. Well, welcome. And we've always got the rewatches on the channel. Side question from Michelle M. What's your shirt? Motley Crue today. I'll show it to you when the super chat is gone. We're Motley Crue today. Monuments of Speculation. Good to see you in the chat. It's good to see everybody in the chat. Thank you for all of the gifted memberships that I didn't pull up earlier. Thank you. The Comeback Agent. Dude, you used to live in Manhattan Beach. That's where I live. I did. So some of you saw my face like, where you live, and you're like, wait, this is Yes. The hometown. Yes. Motley Crue today. We're Motley Crue Ouija board. So Raina said, oh, please be snarky. I tried to rein it in a little bit. I really try to not break the chat rules, but some of these defendants, it is harder than others. You know, Donna makes it difficult. Donna makes it difficult. Yep. Tozy said, where are Donna's headphones? I don't know. She seemed to hear everything just fine today, didn't she? Yeah. A lot of you were asking, did Donna write the doctor's speech? I think the doctor wrote his speech after jail calls with Donna. 100%. And it was not about Donna's character. It was, let me tell you how this case impacted me, and let me tell you how I think the law should be. Let me tell you what the law should be, Your Honor. I was a legislator. Let me tell you, Judge, how I think this should be. Wild. The amount of people trying to tell the judge to do his job. Wild. Sino asked, will she be sent to the same prison as Sarah Boone? Chat, let me know. It seems like a lot of you are curious if she will go to the same prison as Sarah Boone. I will take a look and see where Sarah Boone is and see if Sarah Boone and Catherine McBanawa are together, and I'll let you know in the Lawnerd app. It's just going to take me a few minutes to do it, so it will take me time. Dawn Gloves RN said, Jackie, I have a migraine. I have no energy for this. I mean, right? So it's wild. Richard the Magician said, nothing from Rob, huh? I think Rob Adelson probably wanted to stay away from all of this. Rob testified at trial, which I'm sure was very hard for him. And I am sure, because he is not required to give a statement, I think the fact that he chose not to give a statement for his mom spoke enough. But I imagine he didn't also want to do the affirmative step of giving a statement against his mom. But when we talk about the evidence, and Donna's attorneys are like, there's no evidence. And Donna's talking to Rob and is like, you don't know anything anyway. Donna's behavior spoke very loudly in her conversations with Rob, who's like, I would like to know who murdered my former brother-in-law, like my nephew's father. Like, I would like to know what happened. What the fuck? Why does no one want to know what happened? Rob Adelson was asking very fair questions. And he was getting very sus vibes from the family. Why is nobody concerned? Why is nobody happy when there's an arrest? Don't we want answers to what happened? Or do we already have answers? Right? So, Live Free 7 said the Markells said the visits were very choreographed. I inserted the very end of that super chat, but yes. Yes. They did. They didn't say they'd had 0 visits. They said they'd had limited visits. Oh, court. Cool, Mama C, we might have to do a pickle cleanse. I don't even think my pickle's on. I've been rearranging the office. It's the annual rearrangement of the officing. I need to bring the pickle back into the office. We'll have the pickle for tomorrow. What are we going to stream tomorrow? Some of you have asked. I haven't decided yet. I'll decide later today. We will have to see, but I will keep you posted in the Lawnerd app. I will double check the prison situations and put it in the app. I suspect they're in the same place, but we'll see. Mujer Baraka said, I hope I got Baraka. I hope I got the last part right. Jackie has softened her tone of voice a lot. She did soften her tone with the court. She did. 100%. Celtic Moon asked, Emily, can you bring back the black fax hat? It is on our list. The fax hat sold out unexpectedly quickly last time. It is on our list. Melanie said, at least Tallahassee gave her a pretty purple detention outfit. Tallahassee's detention outfits were pretty decent. So good to see you in the chat. Charlene said 4+ years. I know we have some new stuff for members too. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we've got lots to come the rest of this month. And Redondo Beach said, despite my username, congrats. From the Gundo, look, to everyone who lives in the South Bay. I woke up, I don't remember which day of the week it was, but I had missed a text message from my mother at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. or whatever. She didn't call. I just missed the text message because my parents live close enough to the Chevron refinery that when the Chevron refinery explosion happened, it literally not just rocked my parents' house, but all of their neighbors and caused them to evacuate. But wildness. Thankfully, brother is still in town and friends are still in town. But the South Bay, you guys, it's been much. And the Chevron stuff, absolutely wild. So hopefully everyone is well, but very, very, very stressful. Without going into more detail about my parents, because we'll just let it go. But it was wild, and they are all good, but they did evacuate. And then I woke up and I was like, how did I miss this text message? But also I'm like, Mom, she's like, well, we're fine. It was scary, but we're fine. But it was scary. And I'm like, you can call. Like, if you call, I'll wake up. I'm definitely not going to wake up to the text. But yeah, it was scary. So for all of you it was wild. Absolutely wild. Court in the chat, that's where Dr. B and I got married. That's also where Dr. B's parents got married. Nonfiction, have you watched the YouTube interview with the divorce attorney? I haven't watched that, but I'll go see if I can find it. Maybe we'll add that to the docket this week. And Belle is asking the real questions. Can we get an update on Spidey D? Apparently Spidey D is back and wreaking havoc. So we might have to do a food court with Spidey D for spooky season, because Spidey D seems to be causing some problems around the different donkeys around the area. So yeah, we might have to do a food court with Spidey D. Spidey D seems to be trying to hack into the social media accounts for Duncan. Look, there are times that the brand social media accounts are so on point. It's just absolutely wild. Just so on point. I don't know if Spidey D found Duo, but I do know that it seems that Spidey D and Scrub Daddy have something happening. And I don't know where Duo will play into the love thruple of Scrub Daddy, Duo, and Spidey D. I don't know. For those of you who don't know Spidey D, it is part of food court lore. We did a stream where we were doing food court, and then we ended up down the rabbit hole talking about the Dunkin' Donuts spider that took over the Dunkin' Donuts social media account. It's hilarious. It's just a very funny Halloween-y themed marketing choose your own adventure. It's great. It's brilliant. It's so fun. It is so fun. But Spidey D and the other brand account social medias are having the most fun. And it is started again for the holiday season. Look, there are things on social media that are just exhausting. The Spidey D stuff is so funny to me. It's cheeky. It's lighthearted. I love it. It's funny. And when Wendy's jumps in, Yvonne in the chat said, Wendy's social media gives me life. When Wendy's jump in, Wendy's gets sassy on social. We also need to talk. There's so much going on in the Bravo verse. We need to talk about all of it. There's so much. Hunk Banana knows that maybe Duo will teach us how to say thruple in multiple languages. The first duo that would do that is Duo Deutschland, though I worry that Duo might not be translating it because it seems that they're heavily relying on AI. So I don't know. We'll see. But Wendy's social account is so funny. Bearcat, I have many fond memories of Orville and Wilbur's from different family events and what have you. That is core memories right there, Bearcat. Not just for me, but also for everyone who is on Team Baker that is also South Bay connected. So that's really fun. What a fun memory. Lawnards, it is almost 6 p.m. So I am going to go. D Johnny, I'm sure we have timestamped it. I talked about it earlier in chat and what I thought prosecutors might want to do with that. So there's plenty of time. Murder does not have a statute of limitations. Ask Keefe D. Keefe D wrote a whole book about the murder of Tupac and is still pending trial in 2026-ish, though I think Keefe D is probably trying to work with the feds. So I suspect Keefe D is not done yet. But it is for sure time for us to say goodnight for today. I will see you tomorrow. At what time, I am not sure yet. I need to check in with family because, things are always going on. HD, this is on my list. Wendy and Eddie's arrest from Real Housewives of Potomac is on my list. So it's just what order things go in based on what cases we're covering. We'll see. Because I do want to talk about the lawyers from the Cardi B case a little bit too. And we have food court. We have lots on the docket. We'll make sure to get to it. But this week it's probably going to be today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then I am optimistic about members only Thursday. So keep it on the docket. I will let you know once I check in with family. But I will talk to you soon. Lawnards, you're the best. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a Lawnard. Don't forget, we have a second channel, the Emily Show, which is where the case briefs go. If you want to catch up on the summaries and where we drop podcasts on Mondays, most weeks, not every week. This week, no new podcast because Emily was doing winter break things. Fall break? What break is it? Fall break things with the family. So didn't record a podcast this week, but we'll be back next week. And that's where a lot of our quicker summaries of cases go, is on the Monday podcast. If you are interested in the David investigation, my breakdowns and summaries of that are on the Emily Show podcast. That is a separate channel. And if you're like, I can't keep track of multiple channels, the Lawnard app, I just send things there when they're up, and then you can just push it and go to whichever channel it's on. It makes it real easy. Team Baker, thank you very much. I know for a lot of you, I mean, it's a Monday. I thought we were going to be doing sentencing tomorrow, but thank you all for being here on a Monday. It's going to confuse me the rest of the week. I'm going to have the days wrong. Canadians, happy Thanksgiving. To everyone in the U.S., happy day that's maybe a federal holiday or is not a federal holiday or is a holiday in some states, but not in other states. And in some states, it's like halvesies. I don't even know. I don't know. It is. It's a Monday. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you don't miss a live stream or any of the updates on the cases that you care about most with the Lawnard app at lawnardapp.com. It's a free download on iOS and Android, so I can keep you in the loop, because you never know when something's going to pop off. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being a Lawnard.